It is Friday night in Phoenix, and you're listening to the Absolute Geek podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Brian.
And tonight we have with us two special guests from the Absolute Geek Nation. We have Tim sitting in with us tonight, filling in for Jose. How you doing tonight, Tim?
I'm doing pretty good. What's up, guys?
How's it going? One of the fellow listeners sitting in with us tonight. I think it's a first. That's not a direct close friend of ours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah,
I think it's awesome.
I'm glad Tim's here.
And also filling in with us tonight because it is that time where we've been promising you. We have the writer and creator of Raygun, Greg Schoen. Thanks for coming back on the show, Greg.
Oh, thanks for having me. Love talking to you guys. Super stoked.
Yeah, we're super stoked that the books finally came out and we got to read it. And
it was super. I had, you saw the picture, but it was super cool seeing your book exactly how we talked about. Yeah, I got mine right here. But I mean, just what we talked about a couple years ago. You haven't got yours yet, huh?
No, I went to pick it up and at one of the only places you can get Western comics in Tokyo, and I go there and I'm like, here we go, okay, bring it to me, kind of thing. And the guy's like, hey, and so then I had to awkwardly kind of be semi-mad at this dude that doesn't speak any English, and then I was like, Raygun. He's like, hey. So then, it was this whole thing, and then he goes upstairs, and the two guys come out, and they're like, "Hey." So then I was like, "Please don't tell me you messed this up and didn't order it, right?" Like I was like, "Oh God, I'm gonna get comp copies, but at the same time, I want a bunch, right? I'm gonna send them to people, do whatever, send them to publishers." And so then the guy comes down, he's like, "It's a week late. It's being shipped internationally. It's going to be a week late." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, at least it's on its way.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. I'm getting tons of messages, tons of people sending me pictures, and my hometown in Winnipeg, my high school did like a thing. They put it in their monthly alumni newsletter. This graduate, I didn't graduate from that school actually, but this former student had this published, and then it's just really cool. It's so nice to know that people are reading it how I wanted it to be read. Like you're actually holding it and turning the pages and having the reveals done correctly. Like I'm so stoked. So awesome.
So what you're saying is you're a celebrity now.
Not
you're
at all.
A hometown celebrity.
Not at all.
They're gonna name the library after you now.
I was thinking come home, there's gonna be a statue of him next to Matthew.
That'd be awesome. But
it's gonna be him and Matthew back to back, folding arms and with arms crossed,
with
the ray guns. Yeah.
Men in Black styles.
Yep.
Did you guys like it? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Man.
So real quick, I feel terrible because
you should feel terrible.
Yeah. I did get a copy, but I haven't picked it up from Kyle yet. So
that's okay, man.
Yeah, but
it's not okay. You shun him. Don't.
Yeah.
You got to keep him down.
But I real quick, I do want to say congratulations, and you were talking about how cool it felt. That's got to be really cool. Finally having a big thick trade in your hand that you created.
You said big thick.
Big thick.
Yeah.
That's a normal thing for me, but yeah, the book is good. But, yeah, no, man. Thank you very much. It is huge. It's a big deal. It's like when it was published digitally, and man, we've talked about this before, but I got to tell you, it's just such a big difference to see your work on a computer screen, and you're like, like that's cool. It looks good and stuff, but to actually have a product. A product was made. Yeah, a product was made, and I think Kyle, you were the one too. It's like I wanted this printed.
Kyle always wants like within 20 minutes of me being like, "Hey, I got my copy." He's like, "I want an autographed copy."
I still do.
It's like I want to print it, and I did too, because when you're writing comics, you do it for an effect, right? So when you have the page, and let's say you go, okay, page 1 is always the odd page because it's the first page. You go 2, 3, 3 is going to set up when you turn the page from page 3 to 4, it's a big deal because you can really have something surprising there. So that's why I did full page spreads. So, in the book, and, you guys can feel free to show any artwork you want, but in the book, I've had Alonzo draw full page spreads, right? And so those are supposed to be moments when, whoa, look at the artwork. Like, this is so crazy. This looks really great. And on a computer, it's like, oh, page 3, and you flick your finger and you're like, oh yeah.
That's
nice.
Yeah, that's a really killer point. I never really thought about it like that. We're losing those big wow moments.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it goes to what Stan Lee said. It's cool it's like boobies. They're cool to look at, dude, but there's nothing better than holding it and touching it.
Yep. and to control it. And I mean, it's so fun looking at my kid now read comics. He's finally getting into it. And because his reading skills getting better. But he flips back. He'll flip the page and be like, how'd that happen? And you don't get that on a computer. You don't have the same kind of it's not the same at all, right? Each medium is different. No, the feeling isn't there. Yeah. And so that's the number one reason why I wanted it printed, besides the fact that it kind of validates you a little bit. If a company invests money in you to print a product that they're going to sell, and they, it's just somebody showing like, yeah, we think this is a good product too. Good enough that we're going to spend the money to have it printed and marketed and, do whatever with it. So yeah, I'm very, very, very happy. Very happy.
I mean, it's very good. I liked, definitely being able to hold it in my hand and read it. The only thing where I wish it was more in single issue, because the way the trade is bound,
you have to push
at some parts the lettering goes into the spine of the book to where you can't really see what it says. So
I haven't even seen it yet. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to really warp the book to get in there to read the text.
Yeah.
But as to where a single issue would lay much better, but
yep.
But it was, what? It was worth the wait.
Good, man.
It was. I can tell you my favorite part.
Tell me.
Right when it's this panel right here, where he's like, fuck this, I'm done. Fuck this. Like he has reached his breaking point, and he's like, you know what? That was like, I was like, yes.
It's kind of like that Wolverine in the sewers scene that is so famous from X-Men.
Yes.
Before we get too far into asking questions and doing this review, our audience has kind of grown quite a bit since you were last on. So go ahead and just give us a quick rundown for the new people who may be joining us, kind of what Raygun is and what it's about and everything like that.
Okay, so Raygun is a story about a troubled 10-year-old kid named Matthew Baker, who's sent to live with his estranged father in Hollywood. And within the first few days of being there, he finds Nikola Tesla's fabled death ray. And so like any 10-year-old kid would do, the first thing he does was to just play with it. And, ends up getting on the government's radar. And, within a fairly short amount of time, he's captured by the government and held for testing. And the original publisher, I had worked with them to publish the first 4 issues, which ended with Matthew actually escaping. And then we left it there for 2 years. And now in its final published form, the last 2 issues are bound together in one book, and it shows what happens when you push a human being too far. Matthew is put in. Kyle, it's funny that you mentioned that scene, because that's one of my favorite scenes too. Is because I felt really bad for Matthew, and it was the first time I ever felt bad for one of my characters. And that's why I knew it was probably going to be a good story, because I really liked them. And He's sent by his drug-addicted mother to live with a father he barely knows. Then he's sent to school. Then he has to do the whole bully bullshit. Then he gets, finds, of course, the loser little friends every kid finds at school. And then he finds this wondrous thing. And then he's forced into basically, this experimentation program for the government. And then finally, in that scene is the first time Matthew actually says, no more. What more can be taken from me? And I was hoping to really cut loose with him when he leaves from that scene. From then on, I just wanted him to wreck shit, and so I tried to make that fun.
Yeah, him going home, that from when he's like fuck this to getting there, that's good. I mean, you get all I was pumped. I was like, yeah, I'm digging this. And it's been years since we originally read the first few issues.
Yeah.
So it was almost like, like something, it was like picking up an old favorite. You felt it, but rereading it, you got all that little stuff again. All those little tiny things that you forget when you don't have a chance to read something for a long time. So, it's always like revisiting your favorite comic book.
Yeah.
That you really enjoyed. But I mean, yeah, it's great. I mean, I was flipping through it at the comic book store because I was sitting in the middle of my comic book store, and they had pulled it out, and it was already with my pull box because I had pre-ordered it.
Yep.
And I was sitting there, and I was like, yeah, it's finally here. And there's a bunch of people around me, and a couple people that work there. And the guy that worked there was like, he's a cool guy. He was like, I saw that go in your box. What is that? And I was like, oh man, you gotta check it out. And so we flipped through it, and I was telling him about it. And I was like, and he was like, no way. And he was looking at it, and he was like, is there another one? And I was like, oh. And I walked over and I took a picture of it. I picked it up. I said, oh, I got to buy this one for Brian. Sorry, you're gonna have to ask the owner to
Kyle, get my pack.
Yeah.
So I mean, awesome. I raved about it, to everybody in the comic book store.
That's great, man. Thank you.
So I hope more people Google it and demand it to be ordered. Demand it to be restocked.
Yeah, it can be ordered. I checked, and there's a whole bunch of these websites that I've never heard of before. That you can order it from, and you can order it from Arcana directly. I'm pretty sure. I would guess depending on how it sells, they'll resolicit it. So yeah, it's great, man. Yeah. Did it end the way you thought it was going to end?
No.
I have to honestly say no.
No.
Yeah.
And it's awesome because you listen to us and we sit here and we call shit out so far in advance of what we know because me and Matt are pretty good at figuring shit out.
Yeah.
And getting the ending of books and what's going on with the comic, where the show is going. We're going with that, but I'll tell you right now, you, sir, have a point in the win column. Because I didn't expect anything. No, that's not what I was expecting. So what were you expecting, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give away the ending here.
No.
Yeah.
Everything but the last page, guys.
Yeah.
Everything but the last page is good.
It didn't end the way I thought it was going to end. I definitely was a little bit surprised on the way it ended. And almost like, I got to ask, getting back to the book, and like you said, Kyle said, it's been like 3 years since we read the first couple of chapters. So I went back and reread it. And
yep.
Matthew is such an interesting character. He's such a well-rounded, and there's a lot of layers to him and as a character. And I got to ask now, when you're writing a character like this, because you can see he kind of seems timid and he's confused on what's going on and why he can't be with his mom. And he's kind of got that weird relationship with his dad where he's not necessarily like he hates him, but he doesn't. I don't know. It's not like he doesn't really know him. And
he's like cautious of him. Like he's got that wall up.
And his dad's trying to be the cool dad. It kind of seems like a little bit when they first meet and just trying to make that first impression of like, look at all this cool stuff I do, and it now. And it seems like Matthew's confused. He's got a little bit of anger in him. You see the anger come out a little bit, when he just rocks the bully in the face as soon as he gets to on his first day at a new school, and
it's like when you go to prison. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So how did you draw inspiration for this character? Was it like drawing from personal stuff that you don't have to go into, but drawing from personal stuff? Did you pick on like people's brains? Like, where did you find the inspiration to make Matthew such a well-rounded character?
Well, first of all, I originally had the idea for Matthew before I had kids, but I was very, very close, and I still try to be very close with my nephews, and I really paid attention to, because it's when you're single and you're in your 20s or whatever. Kids are kind of an annoyance, right? Like, you're happy that people have them, but at the same time, you're always glad. And then when one is close to you, you start realizing, wow, these little humans are processing things differently. And how do I explain this without getting too weird? When you're single and you're in your life, and it's so funny because I'm in such a different place now, but you're just so dark, like you're always looking at dark stuff and you're examining dark subjects and dark people. And really, for the formation of Matthew, I thought, how is a kid seeing all this? And if you notice, there's a lot of clues to what has happened. He thinks his mom is sick. She tells him, I'm sick. I need time. And then she puts him on a bus. And imagine being a little boy and your mother tells you, I'm so sick, I can't take care of you. And then when you get on the bus, you look out the window and you see her drive away with a boyfriend. Right? That's the first thing is you just have to think, how the hell is he seeing this? Well, that's the worst form of abandonment right there, isn't it? Because it also starts with a lie, and it's a very obvious lie. And then he's sent to live with a father. And, the thing is, the perception of David's very interesting to me, because his father, it's interesting that you said he's trying to be the cool dad. I don't think he has a goddamn clue what to do with Matthew. He's not a very social person. And we see that through David's background in the book, is he relates more to machines than he does humans. He takes solace in his work. That is where he thrives. And so the dichotomy between him and Karen is very telling in Matthew as well, isn't it? Because
yes,
Karen basically found David at a time when he was thinking about doing something bad to himself to escape a situation. And she really kind of saved him in a way, because she was very outgoing, probably a party girl. He never thought in his life he would ever have a chance with a girl like that, right? So again, Matthew seeing these two people, and David comes across very differently. Now he's stuck in a situation where the guy can't communicate with him. How, as a kid, are you going to handle that? And showing the anger, he does drill that bully in the face, but again, we get a look into that kind of that dark world through a kid's eyes, because when Rupert says to him, oh, you're awesome, man, you kick ass, and he says, no, it's just friends of my mom's, taught me kind of how to be a hard guy. It's like, well, who the hell is hanging around with his mother?
Well, and I think it's very well broken down in the panels where you're like, where he's trying to sell the ray gun, because he says, my mom has this friend that comes over, spends a lot of time with us, and then gives her lots of money and then leaves.
Right.
And he doesn't understand what's really going on there, that money's changing hands for drugs or sex, not necessarily he's being a nice guy. So that's what he's thinking. I'm going to sell the ray gun to him to get lots of money.
I'm going to give this ray gun to this pimp. Again, how is the kid seeing it, right? It's you find this dark place, but then you have to explain it through the kid's point of view. And I really how I wrote Matthew was I just tried to be really true to that, and I never tried to give him an edge or an intelligence or an experience that he wouldn't have. And if he did have that experience, I stopped writing and I made sure it was through the lens of a 10-year-old.
I love when he gets tired of his fucking Weasley friend that likes to rat people out. He's like, I'm done with your bullshit. That's just awesome.
Well, that's another, I can't, we talked about that on Twitter. You said I can't believe he blasted Rupert.
Yeah.
But the thing is, first of all, he didn't fry Rupert. That was an EMP pulse. He just, killed the power in a neighborhood. But that's another thing about kids, right? Is like, we all know snakes, man. You guys were just talking about a snake somewhere when we got on this conversation, right?
Yeah.
They're always there. And when you were a kid, they were there for sure. My kid is 8 years old. He has snakes. He has boys coming up to him saying, "Oh, this kid wants to fight you."
Mm-hmm.
And then I always tell him, go to the kid that wants to fight you and ask him what that kid said. And then he'll go up to that little kid. These are 8-year-olds. And then he'll go up to the kid and say, "Did you say you wanted to beat me up?" And the kid will be like, "No." Well, who told you that? It turns out the little snake was telling both boys that the other boy wanted to beat him up so that he could try to start a fight. That's Rupert. Rupert is everywhere. You met a million Ruperts. You probably know a million of Ruperts from when you were a kid. And Rupert's point of view is a kid's point of view. Matthew comes into the window with to us as adults is a life-changing thing. I'm just escaped a fucking government concentration camp for superhuman whatevers. I have this thing. I flew in your window, man. Like, help me. I need help. I need somewhere to go. And Rupert says, "Yeah, I gotta eat my dinner."
Yeah.
Because mom and dad said this was what has to happen, right?
Yeah. I'm supposed to be doing my homework, Matthew.
I'm supposed to be doing my homework. I can't do this with you.
Yeah.
So, that again is a kid's point of view.
I think what I think will connect a lot of people to this book, and I definitely recommend, if you're out there listening or watching on YouTube, I definitely recommend going to your local shop and ordering it or picking it up. What you're writing, man, has layers upon layers and depth, and like, I know, like, no matter what walk of life you come from, you can connect to it. Like, I connected a lot with Matthew's relationship with his mother, and kind of, I didn't have that same experience.
Why, your mom's a prostitute?
No. But
no.
Like, I know, like, that feeling of being abandoned by your mom and all that, like, biologically and things like that. So you connect there. And then when you get to the story about David in the military, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are in the military that feel like, I don't want to be here anymore, and try to think of ways to get out of it. And it's just interesting, like, the layers that your storytelling go to tell this story of a 10-year-old kid. Like, as on the surface, yes, it's a story about a 10-year-old kid, but it's almost like an onion. As you peel it away, the more layers reveal themselves.
You know what I don't like about a lot of comics, or the newer comics, is they don't do that anymore. They don't have, set up the character. They don't do a good character study about, what you're gonna. It's very, you don't care for that character until way in the run, and it's nice to set that up early.
Yeah, you just gotta care about them.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It did that. You're right, Brian. It seems like there's not a lot of depth anymore. Like they're more important. Almost like the cover's more important than what's in it.
Yep.
Like they just this is your due date. Just get the story to us. And I think.
And if you look at some of the best comics, the runs and that we consider the greatest runs, like Alan Moore's Swamp Thing and Frank Miller's stuff, that's what they did. They set up the character. They set up a strong character, and the book wasn't about what you thought it was going to be about, because they did such a good job, shoring up that character.
Well, and I really like the way you wrote the character of Matthew's mother too, because in the first couple issues, you're kind of getting the understanding of what's going on through the things Matthew says, but really to him, he's just sent away, because he thinks his mom's sick. And then you get to the last couple chapters that just came out. And when he breaks out of prison or breaks away from the government, the first place he goes is to his mom. And instead of helping him,
that's the first place any boy would go, is you go straight back to mom, right? Everybody, and you hear about these guys dying in war, these hardcore kick-ass soldiers, you know, and they're sitting there with their guts laying on the ground beside them, and they're screaming for their mothers. You know, it's something primal in us, right? Your wife breaks up with you, something terrible happens. Who are you going to call?
It's that 9-month internal connection.
Yeah.
Damn right.
I mean,
that oxytocin working magic.
Yeah.
But
so,
then,
yeah, he goes to her. Yeah.
He goes back to mom, but mom is more worried about what trouble that's going to bring her. So then you kind of see that she basically got rid of him because it was what was best for her, not for him. Like, you start the book thinking she sent him away because it was what was best for him, when in reality it turns out to be what's best for her. And like that's what I told you on Twitter, is when he was like when he blasts Rupert, I'm like, he blasts his kid, but he didn't blast his mom. Like that's what I was like,
it's still mom.
Yeah.
You'd never hurt your mom, man.
It's still mom.
You know, but she could. That's why I said, you know, one of the most powerful, important, absolutely linchpin characters and she has the least amount of screen time, right? Is Karen, and it's because she starts the story. She gets paid by the government to relinquish her custody rights over Matthew. She gives Matthew to the, you know, she propels Matthew from that point into what happens after, right? So when mom has finally said, look, get out of here. You're going to ruin this. We have to, what are you doing? Yes, he's already said no. Yes, he started on a path. Now he has nothing to lose from that point. As soon as that happens, and I know, as you said, you know, I think this will resonate. It's the beats like that, man, that are going to resonate with people when they read that and they go, that bitch. Oh, you know, like, oh. And after everything that we know he's been through, she doesn't know that.
Yeah,
but
and
even so, you know.
And it's cool to see the character growth, especially like in David in that short amount of time, because you know, Matthew comes to him and he's not sure what to do, and he connects with him, and you can tell he connects with him right away, and he knows like Matthew's sneaking out at night and sneaking around, and he says, I knew you're doing this, but I wanted to give you your space.
Yeah.
You know, he's not trying to be all on top of him and smother him and be in his face. And it's cool where, you know, she signs her rights over to him, and this entire time he's doing nothing but trying to get him back.
Yeah.
You know, and he builds finishes his robots, and that whole thing goes down, and he basically takes a bullet for his son.
Yeah.
So to go from being an estranged father to taking a bullet, wanting to find your kid and take a bullet for him that quickly was pretty cool.
The reason he was estranged was because he was told to stay away.
Right.
I mean, he was told. So, I mean, and you could tell there's that panel where, you know, where he was leaving to Afghanistan where, you know, you could tell, you know, he was telling them, it was hard to leave, you know, you could tell. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, so it comes back. He still had the love there, and that's why he's willing to take a bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he got back, and the reason that he could continue, the reason why he was, you know, again, Karen she's a very powerful person. You know, she got him through what he needed to get through to get to Afghanistan, and you know, bad things happened, and you know, not all men are equal, and he comes home and you know, finds the worst situation that he can imagine, and he dealt with it, and then all of a sudden he's given Matthew back, and that kind of, you know, up until that point, you have to assume that he has not had another relationship, right? like that's it. He's been with the robots, he's been with the computers since then, perfectly happy, you know, doing his thing, and then all of a sudden this little human is back in his life, and he's, you know, absolutely overjoyed by it because Karen's not coming along. There's no baggage. It's just this boy, but at the same time, he doesn't have the tools to bond with him like he should be bonding, or maybe not. Who knows? I always think David's a very honest character, really. Like, you know, he does say to Matthew, "Look, man, this is weird for me too. Like, I this is really sudden. I'm trying. You know, let's try." And Yeah.
Well, he almost treats Matthew as an equal and not as a child. And he kind of gives you that feeling of, look, I know we're navigating this together. Like, I don't have the answers, you don't have the answers. We're kind of navigating this together, and we're going to figure it out together.
That's what I think too. Yeah. Yeah.
And so you're going to do the Raygun one shot of them hanging out in San Diego, kicking back, having a Coke and, watching the waves. Then you could do be the whole one shot. And then something happens. Well, something happens when they're doing like a father-son bonding vacation. and then they have to his technical robot skills and his skills can come together, and they have to something happens. Then you can do that as the Father's Day one shot.
The Rupert, the robots were really, really cool. Pip and Squeak.
Mm-hmm.
So I was dying when I was writing it. I was just, damn, I designed them, and then Alonzo drew them exactly pretty much how I wanted them to be. Alonzo Molina, the artist, it's fantastic. The guy's working professionally in South America, and he should be. God bless him. But I loved the scene at the Bakers when they fought. Father son versus basically the United States government, and how did that go over for you guys? Did you think that the robots were going to be able to do what they did? Because I always kind of wanted to keep it ambiguous as to what they could do.
I thought that it was one of those, like, he said they can do this, and they said it, one, goes around the perimeter, then the other one takes care of the problem when they find it. I thought what was going to happen with them, it was going to be like a clunk, clunk, smoke come out kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because, that he had taken all this technology that he knew, but he had kind of, put it together in his, in his barn, and I that's what I kind of expected to happen. Like, when it was time for them to shine, they weren't going to shine, but they did shine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with Kyle. I kind of expected a very helper bot from Iron Man type vibe.
Yeah,
like it was just going to be like comedic relief, and it's kind of cool seeing how he kind of befriends them. Where David's like, they have a job to do. They're not your friend. Don't make friends with them. But then you still see him in his bedroom and stuff, and he's talking to him, and I just think there's so many layers to this book, and every character shines in this book. I think.
Tried, man.
I think you did
tried and succeeded.
Yeah, definitely.
You also were,
awesome.
To harken back to when you were talking about Alonzo. I was looking at art, just on the web, and he's absolutely killing it. I mean, he's doing a good job. So it was really,
I actually like in the book that it looks like what he does is he's doing it. You could tell certain panels he changes his style.
Yep.
And to almost to grab and bring you in more. Like I seen like a couple different artists in what he's doing in certain panels. I'm like, I know who he's like. I don't know if he was trying for it or if it was to draw you in, because if it was to draw you in, I think it worked.
I do too, and he actually is in Peru right now, and he teaches art as well as working as a comic book artist. But he was originally an architect, so he could draw buildings, and he can draw machines, and he can draw the world around the characters perfectly. And one of things I'm most proud of is there's not a lot of blank space behind people in this book. There's the time was taken by the artist to actually make the world, and not just kind of make it so that there's a lot of white space. We knew at the beginning of the project that we were going to do it in black and white. And to be able to do it successfully in black and white, you have to, first of all, know how to gray tone. And so we had a great guy doing gray tones and the lettering. Paulo, and that really adds depth to the book. And if you look at great black and white books, they do the same thing. And also, you have to have backgrounds. If you have a black and white book that doesn't take shading, tone, and the weight of the inks seriously, then you don't have a really good book, right? It's going to look super cheap. And so it's kind of weird because I actually wanted it black and white. And so
why did you want it black and white? Is it for that reason that you were just talking about?
I love black and white books. I absolutely love black and white books. You know, like Brat Pack is one of my favorite books. The One is one of my favorite books, both by Rick Veitch. I love Akira, you know, the original series. I remember being a kid and going to the comic book shop and buying like the second printing of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was black and white, and just blew my fucking mind. I was like, I can't, what is this? I've always really enjoyed black and white comics, and I don't know why, but I thought for my first book, I want to make a black and white comic book.
Yeah, it sounds like that's your homage to, you know, your love for the black and white comics.
Yeah,
cool.
I know it's kind of a turn off for people, but I think if they just saw it, yeah.
I think that a lot of people are getting used to it because, like you were saying, there's a lot of books that are doing that. And hell, the biggest book in the planet is black and white. So
yep.
That's true. Yeah, you know, I always forget about The Walking Dead, but yeah, that's right. Yeah, it is black and white, isn't it? It adds a purity to the form, I think. That's amazing.
A lot of the books in Europe too, and are in black and white. I know a lot of the old Warrior magazines and
yep.
you know, Deadline magazines and stuff like that. They were a lot of those are black and white. So
yeah, and it all depends on like I said, on how the book is presented. Like if you look at the best black and white books ever, they're very detailed. They're hyper detailed.
Yes.
There's always a background. There's always something to look at, and the sense of motion and depth and field of view and stuff is always really good. And with a color comic, you're not necessarily going to have that because you can turn the wall behind you blue, right? So yeah, it's a sky blue, you know, and you don't have to put a cloud, or you don't have to put a bird, or you don't have to put a tree, you know, coming up behind to signify since it's not a blank piece of paper.
Does Alonzo draw on does he do it on the tablet or on an actual comic book paper?
I think he does it on a tablet after he's done the breakdown. So actually he would always send me like real pencils.
Yeah.
That he would, you know, scan and then send to me about like a scene, and he'd be like, what do you think about this? And I'd say, yeah, that's it. 99% of the time was, yeah, that's it. There was just a couple times where I was like, man, I was thinking about, like at one point he put the president was Obama. and I was like, I don't know if we should make the president Obama. And he's like, oh, well, you didn't specify like who would be the president. And at the time it was Obama, right? And I go, yeah, but we're gonna date it, right? Like,
yeah,
like somebody 20 years from now might pick up the book and read it. So we don't want to be like, oh, this is at that time. You can't date the book for at least 20 or 30 years if we don't put Obama as the president, right? And so he was like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. So he had to redo all the president scenes.
That's a good point, because you know that I just want to let everybody know that the expo started yesterday and it goes to September.
Yay!
It started May 21st, so I'm letting you all know that the expo is going on. So if you guys want to go visit it,
yeah,
that's kind of a synchronicity striking.
Yeah. And then the cool thing about the artist too is, you know, he could do these amazing backgrounds.
Hold on, Kyle. The expo doesn't start until May, not yesterday.
Oh, damn it. Is it May? I thought it said March. Damn, I was all proud of that I figured that out.
He's all crown royaled up.
God damn it.
But
now I'm all bummed.
But the cool thing is he could do the Raygun was a big thing when you have a key prop like that, like trying to figure out what the Raygun was going to be. But he could also do other things that we needed, like the robots, the military stuff, and the dinosaurs. And so that was the big one too, I was really kind of worried about the dinosaurs, if that makes any sense. It's just like, it's hard to draw a good dinosaur, and he did.
Where is he from?
Peru, man. When I met him, he was a student finishing, I think, his master's in something in San Diego. Yeah. And we met, and he really loved the story, and we, I kind of hashed out what I was thinking we would do, like financially, and he agreed, thank God, and he knew a guy that was still in Peru working in the industry that was going to do the lettering and the gray tones, and we got a schedule going for the work, and then he moved back to Peru, I guess, a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, and he's been there since. Yeah. But
I'd be interested to see if he does commissions and stuff. Might be cool to get.
Yeah, I would imagine he does.
Yeah, get a Raygun commission.
Yeah, I would.
Oh man, that would be super cool.
Yeah, that's why there's so many artists now that are doing everything on their computers or tablets or whatever, and you don't have that original physical art, pages to buy, and sometimes that's kind of a bummer. There's.
I agree.
You find your favorite book, and especially something that isn't on the big two, and it makes it a little bit more personal once you're able to buy that stuff. And
I completely agree. That's another reason why I wanted it printed.
Yes,
you have it, right? This is it. I can give it to my kid.
Yeah.
And say, look, this is yours. I made this. You can make something too.
I was gonna ask you if you had a special spot on a bookshelf for it, ready to go.
As soon as I have it.
Always one of the coolest things about having big, nice trade collection, or big Absolute edition, just displaying them in a bookshelf. So I couldn't imagine having my own comic.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's going to be a very surreal moment when you're actually holding it physically in your hand.
I know.
Versus seeing all these people that are
this is what it looks like holding it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for sapping that moment for me.
But
Kyle, can you find the full page of the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I really like about Alonzo's art too is it's not lazy at all. Like last week, if you watched last week's show, I was criticizing Humberto Ramos, who was doing Spider-Man, for doing lazy
a long time, right? He did
lazy
for a long time.
Well, and he just did the first issue of the new run that's going on, and it was this lazy artwork. Like he drew Spider-Man laying on the ground. It was all disformed. It looked like an empty suit, but it wasn't. But in the scene when they're at the expo, just everybody in the background, even though they're simple drawings, they look symmetrically right. They don't look out of place. They don't look all wonky and the one foot or leg bigger than the other. They look really well. So he definitely took his time and didn't get lazy on any panel in this book.
He did. And I mean, to be fair, I paid him absolutely professional wages for the industry, and I didn't rush him. I never rushed him. We never even submitted the comic until we had 2 issues in the can. It was already there. We were going to produce it. I have a very supportive wife, and she said, if you want to do this, then we're going to do this. And in fact, after issue 4, I was almost ready to give up. I was so pissed off. I was just like, this is it's so hard, and it costs so much money, and we could be doing so much other things. And she knows that this is my outlet, and this is I love comics. I always have, and she said, no, we're going to finish this, and it doesn't matter if we don't have a publisher now. When one comes along, we'll have it, and we can just go. And so to have a partner who's that committed to helping you achieve something, is really, really cool, man. Yeah.
I mean, I think one of Kyle and I's favorite thing to do, if you listen to people who listen to the show for a long time, we're doing comic book reviews, is we like to pick out the art on the book and kind of poke fun at the artist for like bad art or, terrible things where people don't look the way they're supposed to. And I don't think there's a single panel in this book that I can pick out where I can do that. Like, he really took his time and everything is beautiful. And I actually think that this right here is like my favorite page that he did. Like, that page is just absolutely beautiful. Like the helicopter busting apart in the background and all the fire, and it's an absolutely gorgeous page.
Yeah, it is. And that's a black and white. Isn't that crazy? Look at that pop, right? And that's a black and white comic book.
If he was ever going to sell the original, that'd be something I would go after right there, is that page right there.
Well, he's on Twitter, man. If you guys want, you can hit him up, I'm sure he'll be listening to it. He loves Raygun. We're still communicating, and he got really into the characters too. It was interesting, like, as much as we had to think about Matthew, and the first concept sketch he sent to me about Matthew was it. The very first one. So imagine that. You've had this kid in your head for years, and all of a sudden somebody sends you a drawing of that kid, and that's the kid. And, I was very prepared to be like, I don't know, man, maybe change this, maybe do this, maybe. No, it was it. That was Matthew. And so I knew I had a good partner on this because he knew Matthew already. He read the scripts and he knew, it was great. It was awesome. Hopefully the next project I work on has either him or a partner like him.
I was going to ask you, because you said that you got so frustrated at some point. What your future? You got any plans to do another book, or continue on the Raygun stuff?
A Father's Day one shot.
The Father's Day one shot. Yeah. Raygun, it depends. We'll have to talk to Arcana, and we'll see what the sales are like, and if they want to go in on something or whatever. But Raygun, I have planned until Matthew's, well into his 20s. Actually, there's two more series, but that will be through Arcana, and that is what it is right now. I wanted to make sure that what you guys have right now is Raygun. That's Raygun. That's the story. It's it. If there's like, so many people in the future that are like, give us more. It's there. I love that story. I'll go back to it. But I have more in me for other things. And like you said, I do kind of go deep into projects. And so if I was going to be writing Matthew, I'd be in Matthew's head again and Matthew's world again for a long time. I don't know if I want to do that right now. I'm working on a new thing called The Thief, the Wizard, and the Warrior. It's something I've been working on for 7 years, I guess. And the script for issue 1 is done. I write everything in series. I don't write like a single issue of something and then just send that to be commissioned. I'll write the first 6 issues, plan the first 24, and then start working with an artist. So yeah, that's the next thing. It's big. It's really big. It's very different from Raygun. Yeah.
So I have to ask, and if you can't talk about it, I understand. With the way companies are buying up comic book properties right now, have you been approached yet about turning Raygun into a Netflix show or a series or anything along those lines?
No, not yet. But I mean, it just got released. But the Arcana, the publisher of Raygun, started as a devoted comic book publisher, but they handle IP for animated features now. Their studio is full of animators. They make animated movies, that show on wherever. And one of the conversations with the CEO of Arcana, Sean Riley, was like, they wanted the property to pitch. They saw the potential in it as being something else, a movie or animated series or something. that was why they wanted to invest in the property. Which I'm for, man. Hey, great, put it on the screen, do whatever, make an animated feature. I'm for that. Yeah, and hopefully one day that'll happen. But like I said, I got more in me. I'm thinking about the future and thinking about connecting with other publishers and showing them Raygun and just kind of showing them like, hey, I can do this. I do love comics. I can write, a Spider-Man or, a Nightwing or something. So.
Well, I was just asking because it's interesting to see the way the industry is going, that they're moving away from the big two and they're stretching out. Like one of the biggest things in the world right now is Umbrella Academy, and that came from a third party publisher. So it's
Dark Horse.
Like, Dark Horse, not one of the better, it's not like it's not known, but it's not the big two the big three, including Image now, that are pumping everything out. So I was just wondering if they were, you'd been approached yet, because it'd be interesting. It looks like they're out there looking for something just like this, kind of a brand new early property that they can, get tied into, synced into their teeth into and get tied into like right away.
Honestly, I have pretty high hopes. I mean, can you guys not imagine this? Like, my original thing was, like I said to you guys years ago, when I was living in Vancouver, after I came off of a weird like Tesla fascination, I tried to write Raygun originally as a screenplay, and I got about halfway through it and realized nobody's ever going to make this goddamn movie. This is a $30 million movie. Like, this isn't like I'm pissing in the wind here. And it wasn't until a couple years later when I spoke to my friend Igor Corday, who's a fairly accomplished artist, and he asked me, "Do you have any ideas? Are you still writing? Like, what's going on?" I was doing something else at the time, and I was like, "Well, I got this." And he wrote back and he said, "Do it. That is a great story, man. Do it. Write it. I'll read it. I'll help you." And so that's why I was kind of like, "Oh yeah, it is a good story. I can make that a comic." So it wouldn't surprise me if somebody saw a movie in it. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody saw an animated feature in it. I mean, the genesis was to be that. It was kind of half-assed because most people write comics to make movies. And I wrote a movie that became a comic. So it could go the other way. Yeah.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, I definitely appreciate you joining us tonight. You're
man.
More than welcome to hang out. I just don't want to take up any more of your time. I know it's Saturday afternoon there.
I better jet. The wife and the kids are at a karaoke place. Like totally like giving me my privacy, but
so they're singing tunes in a bar.
They are, yeah. I'm gonna text them when we're done. But I just want to say, Matt, Kyle, you guys, thank you so much. You guys have been very, very supportive of me. You've been very, very helpful. From day one, you've been on board with this project, and I've really, really enjoyed your input, and I've really enjoyed speaking to you about this. And like, no matter what's happening, I want to keep in touch, and I'm always going to be listening to this show. You guys are just the best of the best. I do other podcasts and talk to other people, but like, you guys are, I started listening to you guys because I felt really out of touch here because I'm in Tokyo, and I could listen to you guys talk, and it was my buddies back home because that's how we talk. That's we love comics, we love role-playing games, we love movies, we are absolute geeks too. And I just really appreciate this time you've given me, and I love you guys, and just like, let's keep in touch for sure. The t-shirts I am gonna have, but there's a problem here. I tried to get them made in Japan, but in Japan they don't make your sizes. Like it's, if I buy an extra large here, it's like a large in Canada.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do merch. Like, don't worry about it. Yeah, I got you. But I just wanted to say thank you all so much. Okay, and tell Jose too that I really appreciate his content and the input you guys have.
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate
that. Thank you for Raygun.
Yeah, it means a lot. And you, like I said, you're a dude. You're a fantastic writer. You're killing it. There's absolutely, no doubt in my mind that one day when this is all said and done, if the right people get a hold of this, your name could be up there with some of the greats. And
thank you,
dude. Like Raygun's a fantastic start, dude. I can't wait to see what comes next from you. I can guarantee you that as long as you keep writing them, I'll keep reading them.
Awesome.
But, it's cool. It's a fantastic story. I hope great things come for you out of this book. I really do, because it's a fantastic book. And I just want to urge everyone, again, that listen to this podcast or watching it live on YouTube, go out to your local comic shop, man. Request Raygun. Order this book. You won't be sorry. It's a fantastic book. It's a fantastic story. The art is beautiful, and it's just, for a first attempt, man, being your first book, you definitely knocked it out of the park.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
We'll definitely let you go, but again, appreciate your time and thanks for coming on, and we'll talk to you again real soon, man.
Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Thanks,
yep, have a good day.
Exciting stuff, guys.
Yeah, it's a good book. Everybody out there,
it is a fantastic book.
Go to your local comic store, ask them to order it. They can look it up in their systems. They can get it through Diamond. So it's no problem for comic stores to be able to order it.
He's definitely a stand-up dude.
So. He is, for sure. But all right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of what makes this show here.
All right.
I feel bad for Tim because he's been sitting there like a statue for the last hour while we talk about Greg.
He turned into Deadpool.
He turned into Deadpool.
Yeah. He must have to take a shit.
I feel bad because I'm glad that Tim could join us tonight, and I really wanted him on the show. I feel bad that this happened, that this book got released when you were supposed to come on the show, because we'd already promised him in advance when it was supposed to release a month ago that we were going to have him on an interview, and it just now happened to come out the same week you were supposed to be on the show. So I definitely apologize for that.
That's cool. I'm excited to find the book. I can't find it anywhere local here, so I didn't know that I was going to have to pre-order it. I figured it might have, one of the local stores might have just picked it up, but
I think there you'll find you might find one or two, but definitely the ease of being able just to have them order it through Diamond, and
it would be there cool. It'll be there the next cycle of books. It'll be in with it. So
and Arcana used to be a really cool independent little studio, and it's interesting how he was talking about that and the label and stuff. And I really hope that he's able to continue, with that property, and that Arcana. I don't know how those labels, stuff works. So I hope he still has all the rights to it, so he can, do what he wishes with it.
It'd be cool to see it on Netflix.
For sure. And I hope
as a movie or something, it'd be cool.
The CEO or publisher guy for Arcana, he's right. He's a big anime guy, and he does they're doing a lot of animation, and hell, even an animation would be cool.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, Jay says in the chat, Tim pulled a Brian.
He just left. He just disappeared. Where the fuck did he go?
Turned into Deadpool.
So how's it going, Tim?
Wait till I fall asleep here in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, right.
It's like Jose, 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh man. We can make little memes of you nodding off.
Yeah, that's one of the things. You come on this show, you become subject to being memed into the dumbest shit I can think of. So
yeah. Yeah.
You might have Kyle turning you into dust with the Infinity Gauntlet, or
it could be worse.
I think I'm gonna change that to my profile picture.
I think I give Brian the best one of all.
Yeah,
that he's looking to be hired.
Yeah, I love that, man. Especially the second one.
I thought about doing other things, but I know your job, and you've mentioned before there's certain things that you don't want to talk about, so I left those individual things off.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that, man, is I've kind of got to the point where I'm like, you know what, screw it, man. I'm just gonna live my truth, man. I hate that shit that you gotta deal with that nowadays.
Like you gotta hide shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like anything I'm doing is crazy, but I think it just gets to a point where you just get tired of your job, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Jay says Tim is fair game. Yes, he is. I won't do that to you. I won't do that to you, though.
You got to be on at least 2 shows.
Yeah.
Small price to pay to be on an episode of the premiere podcast in Arizona.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Look at the respect.
Oh shit.
Fuck every other podcast you do, Brian. That's respect right there. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I forgot to ask, when is Free Comic Book Day?
May the 4th.
The first Saturday in May.
Yeah, I think this year it's May the 4th. So it's May the 4th.
Star Wars Day and Free Comic Book Day, huh?
Yeah, it hasn't been that in like 4 years? 4 or 5?
Man, I haven't been to a Free Comic Book Day in a long time. I remember back in the day, those things are really, really awesome to go to. You got a lot of really cool books. And
well, Jesus Christ, one of the hottest books right now in Umbrella Academy was a Free Comic Book Day book.
Yeah, I feel a little shitty because I sold those for $50 a pop, and I think at one point they were a couple $100 a pop at Raw. So
Raw.
It's actually unreal how that shit has caught fire.
Right?
People love it. And rightfully so. It's a great idea. It's a great story. It's really cool. And I think the actors that got to play the parts in the Netflix show are really good. There's a couple of them that are just outstanding. But
I agree. 100%.
I gotta get. You know what? I gotta give a shout out to my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Her band, I've talked about it before. She's in a band called the Darts US. You guys can Google it. Go on YouTube. She tours all across the country in Europe. Well, DC approached her and her band about having one of their songs in one of the next episodes of Doom Patrol. So I think that's fucking cool.
Fuck yeah,
getting some of that DC money. Fuck.
Right? Did you guys see where I think I told this to Kyle, for the next season of Titans, they're going to do the Ravager storyline with Deathstroke's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, because I know they cast Superboy already.
Yeah, and they cast Deathstroke too.
Did they?
Yeah, Isai Morales.
Should have been the same dude who played him in Arrow.
Yeah, that was good. Isai Morales looks like a good casting too. I just really bummed out that character never fleshed out for the Batman movies.
It still possibly could.
Yeah.
Who knows? But so yeah, what are you guys' opinions on the fact that they're coming out and saying that the next Transformers movie we're actually going to see them bump uglies? Is that something that you thought you needed to see or questioned?
Stupid. How stupid. That's ridiculous. Way to push an agenda. Fucking Alex Jones conspiracy.
So, speaking of Alex, did you see him on the Joe Rogan podcast?
Oh, hell yeah, man. I don't miss it when he's on there.
Oh, dude. I have to admit, I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah. I love when he got all pissed off at Eddie Bravo because Eddie Bravo was just fucking with him.
Choke me out. Choke me out.
I'm going to have to listen to that episode now.
You got to watch it. It's hilarious.
Were you going to say something about Transformers, Tim?
Yeah, I'm lost about the Transformers getting it on. Where did that come from?
So they came out and said that after the success of Bumblebee, they're going to continue doing more Transformers movies, and that in an upcoming movie, there's a potential that we're going to see them bump uglies and see a love scene or a sex scene between the Transformers, because apparently that's a thing and people want to know how that works.
Robots don't have sex. Come on.
They're living organisms, Kyle. The Allspark.
They have urges.
I just figured they like build their kids and then hit them with a little Allspark juice and.
Yeah, kind of like in the movie, where they same thing. It just did its thing.
Isn't that how all kids are built, with a little Allspark juice?
Yes,
yeah.
all of them. On accident.
It depends on how long it's been. It could be a lot of Allspark juice.
Yeah.
Oops. What do you mean, oops? Nothing. It's good.
Yeah. Oh man, lots of Allspark juice.
I just can't imagine them sitting in a room where they're like, "What do we need to do to really throw a curveball at the Transformer audience and let's do something different?" Well, why don't we have them have sex? Johnson, great idea. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Yes, where the robot is banging the dryer.
He said, "Yeah, he's talking about Robot Chicken."
Yeah. Is that right before Optimus Prime finds out he has cancer?
I mean, it's the internet. When anything out there, there's porn of it. Isn't that the rule 34 or something like that? There's a porn version of everything in the internet rules. So, I mean, there's already in preparation, full disclosure for this episode. Again, I have no shame. I'm the guy that talked about putting a dildo on his head over a staple.
Which we need to poll this weekend.
I looked up Transformer sex, and people already got it covered. Like it's already been covered. If you really want to know, just Google it.
What in your adventures did you find anything? Was there any GoBot ones?
I didn't see any GoBot. No.
I'm asking for.
I didn't see any of the discounted Transformers, the Kmart of Transformers. But I just
fucking GoBot.
It's I don't think it's something we need to see, but there are people out there that probably have some sort of fetish on it. I mean, right now that's the whole VR thing is about basically fucking a robot. So
I think it's cheesy as hell, it sounds so ridiculous. But watch, they're gonna do it, and they're gonna pull it off in such a way where we're like, that was fucking awesome.
It's gonna show the female Transformer on her knees with their mouth open, and all the oil goes all over her face. It's all black oil all over her.
I've already seen a dude fuck a robot in the movie Her and heard it. I don't need to witness that awkwardness again.
They need to do like the Team of Her scene.
Yeah. I just don't think it needs to happen. There's no robot love scene needs to happen. If you wouldn't show us Megan Fox getting it on with someone in those movies, we don't need to see Transformers getting it on.
Is it with a Transformer or?
Well, yeah, either way.
I mean,
that's dude. Yeah, a Transformer just turning into her dildo, her masturbation paraphernalia. That's a missed opportunity right there.
Oh my god,
that would definitely be it.
That's $1 million idea right there. You should trademark that.
Yeah, but that one's definitely going to be a GoBot. A robot that turns into a dildo is going to be a GoBot.
There you go. That's a missed opportunity right there. That's $1 million idea. A Transformer that just transforms into a sex toy.
I bet you they already got one. I bet you there's some sex company that made a fake one.
What, a fake Transformer that just transforms into a dildo?
Yeah.
Could you imagine your fucking wife or girlfriend having that, and you have a kid or something, and he finds it and he's playing with it and trying to transform her into giant?
The first thing I thought when you said that.
Just catching your kid playing with it, like trying to transform it. I can't get its helmet to stay on.
Mom, you have Transformers too?
Yeah. I don't understand how these big giant feet work. How is that correct? How does he walk? The testicles transform into the feet. But I don't see how that's gonna work. But whatever.
I think it's gonna be awkward as fuck.
We don't have Michael Bay anymore, so we're gonna have Transformer sex. We can't have we can't have an orgasm of explosion, so we're gonna have a robot orgasm.
Fuck, man. I'll be right back.
But Bumblebee was really good, right? You saw that, Matt, right?
No, I loved Bumblebee. Yeah, I thought Bumblebee was a fantastic movie. But it doesn't mean I need to see robot sex in it.
Oh no, fuck no. Yeah.
So the big story this week was the Fox and Disney merger finally went through on Wednesday morning, and man, did Disney royally bend Fox over and fuck them in the ass.
Oh yeah, and I'm really surprised that they allowed that to happen. The government.
$71 billion ass fucking is what Fox just took.
Yeah.
Because they lost almost every property they had. They fought to keep The Simpsons. And I guess Disney said, if we don't get The Simpsons, we're pulling the deal. So they threw in The Simpsons. So they now have the rights to The Simpsons. Everything they got in that deal, Disney like robbed them.
Disney is unbelievable right now with the titles that they have. They're fucking, they're Monopoly right now.
Well, they can't be in the monopoly because there's still Sony out there and there's, Warner Brothers. There's other studios out there. So, but in the deal, Disney obtains the entertainment assets to The Simpsons, Family Guy, Fantastic Four, The X-Men, Deadpool, Planet of the Apes, Alien, Predator, The X-Files, American Horror Story, Ice Age, Rio, Home Alone, The Sound of Music, Miracle on 34th Street, Titanic, Avatar, and many others.
Wow.
Fucking, they just nailed it out of the ballpark with that. Disneyland's going to be fucking the state of Rhode Island now.
I can't wait for the Miracle on 34th Street MCU crossover.
Yeah. There you go.
Awesome.
So
how long is it going to take for them to get a Silver Surfer going?
Probably a while, if they do.
They got to, right?
Kevin Feige already said you're getting an X-Men movie. We're going to remake the X-Men. So if you have any preconceived notions that they're not going to recast Wolverine, you might as well throw them out the fucking window because it's going to happen. They're going to recast everyone.
Yep.
And their casting is probably going to be better than Hugh Jackman, even though Hugh Jackman was a fantastic casting. Marvel and Disney really have not done a bad job casting these characters yet. My question is, how many of these people are you going to see sign on if they start optioning an X-Men versus Avengers movie? Do you see Chris Evans coming back? Do you see Robert Downey Jr. coming back? Do you see all these characters coming back for an Avengers versus X-Men movie?
No, they're going to have to recast the actors.
You think they'll recast them?
Oh,
They've already all said they're done.
Yeah.
I think there's ways to get people to come back. You throw enough dollar signs.
They have enough dollar signs. They don't give a shit.
Well, I think Robert Downey Jr. would do it because he owes a lot to Marvel. He basically owes his career relaunching to Marvel.
I think it all depends on how long they're in it for. So if it's just a couple scenes here and there, like he did on Spider-Man, then all day, every day. I just don't think he wants to do the long, 3-month stints.
I don't think it really. Jay asked in the chat why Fox is selling their properties. I think they're hurting and they're not making enough money on their movies and they're losing money on films, and I think they had to.
Yeah, they're hemorrhaging.
Would it be weird? It would be weird to see The Simpsons on something.
Well, I don't think they're going to change. I think right now, from early reports, is that they're still going to keep the two divisions separate. So, like, Fox TV is still going to remain Fox. It's not going to be like Disney.
See, I thought I read an article so they already sent out the layoff letters and all kinds of stuff.
No, Disney.
The head dude from Fox has already stepped down.
Well, though he stepped down, but the first article I read, and it might have changed since then because I haven't really looked into it since it was announced, but they are acquiring the entire Fox work staff. So they're bringing everybody over and keeping them on. I didn't hear anything about them planning to lay anybody off other than the CEOs because it's going to be Disney in charge of it now. But from what I heard is they were talking about operating them both separately. So Fox TV was still going to stay Fox. They're not going to change the name of the network or anything like that. And the Simpsons are going to stay where they are and Family Guy and all of that. But
they should rename it Dizox.
Dizox? Disney Fox?
Yep.
Just like Disney owns ABC and they didn't rebrand ABC or ESPN.
Yeah.
So I think that property will all stay the same. But
Disney's not getting the sports properties from Fox, right? That's the only thing they're keeping.
I believe so. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on the sports properties.
Yeah, I think the sports properties, like the local Fox Sports Arizona, Fox Sports Anaheim, whatever, I think they're keeping those. Disney didn't want those. Or they wanted them, but maybe it wasn't worth the money they were asking.
Because I think Fox as the channel is a separate entity from their studios, from 20th Century Fox or 21st Century Fox, or whatever the fuck it is. I think it's a different entity. So that's where all the sports stuff is staying with Fox. Yeah. Because they just paid a shit ton of money to the WWE to have SmackDown on Fox starting this fall. So
that's huge.
What season did Simpsons predict Fox, a Disney company?
I can't remember what season it was.
But they did it.
Did they really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Trump presidency, right?
They predicted that too.
Well, I mean, you throw enough shit at the wall for years and years and years, you're gonna get a few right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy the shit that they write, and then you see it. It's wild.
I just hope, because I heard rumors. I was reading an article today that the next big space thing is going to be the Eternals, and that's going to be their way to bring in Galactus. So if that's what they plan on doing, that'd be pretty dope.
They predicted it 19 years ago. 20th Century Fox, a division of the Walt Disney Company.
That's crazy.
But it's amazing how the Simpsons have done that continuously with many things.
Yeah, the writing on that show is unreal.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with and what characters show up. No, I don't think any of these characters are showing up in Endgame. So don't get your hopes up for that. I really don't think it's going to happen.
I think the Eternals might show up because they've been talking about the Eternals for a while, but not any of the Fox properties. I agree with you on that.
I don't know, but I don't think any of that's showing up in Endgame. Post Endgame maybe, but I don't see any of that. And all the fan theories now are getting dumb about, oh, this is gonna create the X-Men, and the Infinity Stones are gonna be responsible for creating the X-Men. And it's like, come on now.
No, it'll be a different event.
Anything it's gonna have to do with the quantum realm, because they've kind of already hinted at that in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
God, that movie's fucking terrible.
No, it's not. I think
the first one I hear is really good.
I enjoyed the second one more than the first one.
The second one was just, I don't know. I was sitting there and I was watching it, and when I seen an ant welding, dude, I was out. Like, seriously, I was like, how does anybody not notice that they have a goddamn ant in the fucking tunnel welding shit? Like, it's no big deal. Like, you go to school to learn to do that. They got this fucking ant just doing it. Like, no.
Hank Pym is connecting to them though, so it's
no.
Like,
I don't give a fuck. What to do. I don't give a shit, man. It's fucking ant and they're welding.
Maybe you just didn't have the right ant farm growing up.
I guess not. I guess not. I ordered the cheap one. My parents didn't have a lot of money, so
there was no vocational facility.
But I don't know.
Your parents forgot to get you the Derek Zoolander School for Ants, huh?
Yes.
You got them sea monkeys instead.
Yeah. But that whole movie was just kind of blah. Like, it was just like there. Like, there was no real villain in it. It was just kind of there. Like, it was just there to fill a space and to move it along. And I really think they just kind of did it so that at the end, when the snap happens, that Hank and all them go away and he's stuck in the quantum realm. Like, I think that was what the whole part of that movie was for, is to keep him. That's how he got to not, like, maybe if he wasn't in the quantum realm, he would have left with everybody else.
But you don't like it. You don't like it in that it is a filler movie. But isn't that what makes the MCU so much better than the DC universe? Is that Marvel will put out those filler movies that connect their stories instead of the way DC's doing it?
I mean, DC just hasn't put out they just haven't been pumping out movies for 10 years.
Well, it's not just that, but
if they were pumping out movies like this and they were connecting them, then yeah, I could see that. But
you don't think that they should have like built towards the Justice League, kind of the same way Marvel built towards the Avengers? and that Marvel was built towards Infinity Wars, and now they're building towards Endgame.
Well, I think what would happen is if they did it like that, you fucking copy of Marvel, they're fucking building up to the Justice League. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. I think they would be in a much better position than they are right now.
I just think it would have been I think they tried to do something different. What do you think, Tim?
That's a mess. That's a complete mess. The whole DC universe is a mess.
Yeah, big time.
But I don't think anything they could have done would have helped. There's nothing they could have done to help them. It's just what happens when it's like a Windows phone. It came out too late, and it just didn't work.
Everything went off the rails after they made the different cut for Suicide Squad. That's when everything went off the rails.
I think it was further back. I think it was Batman Superman. They butchered that movie, and we really needed a Ben Affleck Batman movie before that. You tried to cram so much into that movie, but we had to see Bruce Wayne's parents die again. We have Lex Luthor picking up Vine videos of metahumans all around the world for no fucking reason. And that entire movie was just to introduce everything, and because of that, it was a mess. It needed to be broken up a little bit more. Wonder Woman comes out of nowhere. That movie was the comic book movie equivalent of like porn. It was really great stuff to look at, but the story sucked.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Have you ever watched Brazzers? They have some pretty interesting stories.
I don't have a premium account.
Want a password?
You want to borrow Brian's?
Yeah.
But yeah, I tend to agree. I think it goes back further. I think it goes back as far as Superman Dawn, or the first Henry Cavill Superman movie.
I thought Henry Cavill Superman was awesome.
I liked it too.
He's a good Superman, but I thought the movie was terrible. I don't know, just all the DC movies are just, even though they try to be dark, they're quirky. Like when Zod's laser beaming down a hallway and these people are freaking out, and they can really literally take 20 steps to the left and go around the corner and they're safe. It's just got its quirkiness to it, and it's just, I don't know. The best thing that I think that came out of Justice League was Ben Affleck Batman and the Flash, but they can't even get a Flash movie together to save their lives.
Did you hear about what's going on with that? Where Ezra Miller's going to be writing it with Grant Morrison?
Now they went from couldn't keep a director to scrap. This is like the third script scrap and rewrite.
I'm stoked that Grant Morrison's writing it though. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I was hoping what they were going to do with Flash is that was what was going to give us our reset.
Do a Flashpoint.
That's what I was really hoping for, because it would have been a justified reset.
Yep.
I mean, it would have been okay. It wouldn't have been a big deal, because that's what is meant to happen. So
I think it's going to come to be that Wonder Woman is where you get your reset, because I don't think you're going to see any more team up movies from DC. I think they're going to stick with Wonder Woman and Aquaman standalones, and then Shazam. From what I'm hearing, Shazam's going to be a huge success.
Yeah. So Wonder Woman is a standalone. It's all by itself. The new one.
Yeah. But like, I think you're just going to see, and then they're talking about the Batman movie and setting that in the 1990s, and people are going crazy about that. If you're going to do a Batman movie set in the past, you got to have like 90s original cowl Batman and actually get like a jacked actor, not some like tiny linky dude that you got to make look ripped. And it's interesting to see what lines people draw on that kind of stuff.
But even moving forward, there's consequences and repercussions, because they tried to lay groundwork in even Batman Superman with all the future telling of the nightmare world, with Bruce having his nightmare in the Batcave, and Barry comes up and is talking about how he's too early and Lois is the answer. So they tried to lay all this groundwork, and then
they tried to set Flashpoint up at that time, and Yeah.
Now the only thing that's going to survive, it looks like, is Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot. Other than that, it looks like everybody else is about to be gone.
Well, they're saying that that Ezra Miller, is that his name? Ezra Miller, Matt? Is that his name?
Yeah.
They're saying that the main reason that he's wanting to be part of the writing team is because he really, really wants the role, and there's rumors that they want to recast him, and he just really wants to play that role. So he's, saying, okay, I'm going to help write, so that makes it harder for them to do that.
I thought he was a decent Barry Allen. Like, I thought he did a good job.
Same with me. I agree.
He maybe made it more where Barry Allen, instead of being just eccentric and quirky, he felt like he had a brush of autism. But
yeah,
it's. I like the way he did it. He made it his own.
Yeah, he was one of the really good things in Batman vs Superman.
But then you got the reports of Ben Affleck saying he would totally be down to come back and do another Zack Snyder Justice League movie. So, are you in or out, Affleck? Like that's what I'm not getting here. Is, are you in or out? And
I don't think it's him.
You don't think it's him?
I don't think it's him.
Who do you think it is?
I think it's
Warner Brothers.
I think it's somebody in there. Dude, Ben Affleck looked at his wife. Now he doesn't want him to be Batman. That's just I think something.
He doesn't have a wife. They're divorced. But I get what you're saying.
The CEO Ben Affleck looked at dude's wife.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Or he tried to have sex with her in a very uncomfortable place.
Like in the back of a Volkswagen.
Exactly. Or he did have sex with her in a very uncomfortable place.
Or he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's definitely plausible. He came on the set and she was like, "Hey, aren't you that dude from Fashionable Mail?"
I want to hear. I wonder if him and Kevin Smith have talked.
They have not.
Wow.
He did not even call Kevin when Kevin had his heart attack.
Oh wow.
What a dick.
Fucked up.
So he's not in Reboot. He's nothing. Like he was having when he was trying to do Mallrats 2, he was having a real hard time even contacting him to see if he would reprise the role of the dude from Fashionable Mail.
Wow. That's fucked up.
So
I would have signed his name on all of the medical bills at the hospital.
Yeah. Send that bill to Ben Affleck.
What's your name? Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff out there too that a lot of it is Jennifer Garner's fault, and
that's what I've heard. It's all 100% her.
So, but he is. I guess the damage has been done, so they don't reach out to each other. And I know Kevin said that Ben never even reached out to him after the heart attack.
Yeah, at some point you gotta let bygones be bygones. That's cheesy.
Right.
He can get Bruce Willis to want to be his friend, but he can't get Ben Affleck to do it.
So I seen Captain Marvel last week.
Oh yeah, you didn't like that either.
I didn't like it.
Huh.
Did you see it yet, Brian?
No.
You saw it, Tim.
Yeah.
Brian doesn't go to the movies.
Did you like it, Tim?
Yeah. I mean, haters gonna hate. I would say it's not one of the best. You're talking about 22 movies. So I'd say it's right somewhere in the middle. I mean, it was fun. I'm not sure if her acting was part of it or if it was like character development. But
I think it's the writing. I don't think it was her acting at all. I think it's how the character was written.
Yeah, she's a really good actor.
Yeah, she's super hot.
There were some times it just didn't feel like she was selling it, but I don't know if that's like implied. Had the way it was written is what I like to believe. Kind of like, like Thor started out, where he just wasn't personable, and then it kind of grew on him as the movies progressed.
Well, I think that's the point, because like she didn't even remember she was born on Earth. She thought she was a Kree this entire time. So the way the Earth people interact and interaction is going to be different from her compared to what you're used to. So, yeah.
Yeah. I found the whole movie just kind of slow until the end. It was like, it just kind of, I don't know, like it was just like, it just putted along and you were just kind of, yeah, okay. Yeah, you look sexy in a Nine Inch Nails shirt. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, now she's in space. Fuck yeah. It's kind of how it went.
So I mean, it definitely. It didn't seem like there was any urgency throughout the movie. Like nothing was really at stake.
And it was, it was kind of like Ant-Man and Wasp. There was no real villain in it.
Was it? Well, Brian hasn't seen it yet, right?
Yeah, but I know everything about it, so you guys are cool to talk about it.
I got you. Is there like a spoiler ban, or is everybody cool?
Dude, it's been a few weeks now. I think their statute of limitations is passed, so you can go for it.
I got you. Well,
go ahead.
I was like, even that towards the end when Ronan and the Kree or the accusers or the Kree, whatever, show up, it was she flew through a spaceship and completely destroyed it. And then, a couple years ago, we watched Guardians of the Galaxy, and Ronan was feared, and he pretty much just takes off like a bitch.
Right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, wow, she can do that? I'm out of here. Fuck this.
I took it to young Ronan. He was, by the time he gets to Guardians of the Galaxy, there's a little more experience behind him.
Well, I take it as he knows that she's out there now, and it kind of connects to Guardians of the Galaxy now. He knows that she's out there, so he's got to go try to find an Infinity Stone to give himself the same like level playing ground or a chance against her. That's kind of why he's going after that Infinity Stone in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Because he knows he has to have more power because there's more powerful beings.
Right, because he makes the comment, "We'll be back for the girl. We'll be back for the woman."
That's not the same dude that played it in Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a different. I'm not sure because that dude looked totally different.
It's just because I don't think he didn't have like the black makeup on.
I mean, it was like I'm not even saying the makeup. I mean, like the dude's face. It didn't look like the dude.
Well, I think they did it to make him. They did a lot of CGI work to make them look younger. So, like the younger Samuel Jackson and even Greg Clark, they made him look a lot younger. So I think they probably did a lot of CGI work on him to make him look younger. That's probably why it looks like that.
Because he looks like a different person.
IMDb is a thing, bro. Look it up. You don't care that much.
It's the same guy.
Is it?
Yep.
Wow.
Kyle doesn't care that much. He's like, I'm not looking that up. Fuck out of here.
It was just an observation that I made, and it's not the first time I've been wrong tonight, so fuck it.
Get that shit out of here.
I was so stoked. I was like, dude, March 21st. That was yesterday. I was so stoked about that.
Yeah, and it's May.
God damn it. But I don't know. Like, I just like Goose was kind of what saved that movie for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it wasn't even that great. Like the only thing was cool, but the best thing about Goose was the fact that I think the best scene in the whole movie with Goose was when they were scanning everybody and Goose was the biggest threat and you didn't know why yet.
Yeah.
They're like, it's a cat. What do you mean? I thought that was probably like
the flirkin'.
It was probably like the best. It was one of my favorite scenes in that movie was that when they were just Samuel L. Jackson was like, what the fuck, But I don't know. And I was all excited because it took place like for all this 90s nostalgia. And it was just, but beside the blockbuster, which there really wasn't anything else. And it's not like Blockbuster didn't close in the 90s. I mean, we had Blockbuster all the way up.
Right, but it's just the music and, like you said, the Nine Inch Nails shirt. And...
Oh, but you hear all those songs on the radio still today.
I know. So
it's not like they went to like these deep tracks of the 90s where you were just like, oh my God, I can't believe they played that song. Like, it's songs you hear that No Doubt song every day.
But you see her using the payphone and all that. Like it's just the way things used to be. It's nostalgia. It's always going to be that way.
But it really, I don't know. There really wasn't.
Oh, it sounds like
it's not like she used a payphone. She hooked up a bunch of shit to a phone to send a signal. So it's not like she put 2 quarters in it and like dialed like it was. You know what I mean? Like
used 1-800-COLLECT.
She might have. Mom, pick me up at 8. Click.
But what did you guys think of the? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kyle.
I was saying that's just I don't know. I think I overhyped myself, and whenever you overhype yourself, it ends up not being. And the other thing that pissed me off is I finally forked over the extra bucks to sit in the recliner seats. There's fucking 9 people in this theater, and I have this asshole sitting right next to me.
Oh, I fucking hate that.
Like, dude, you could have had 3 rows to yourself. I guess I could have too.
But what I love is the Kyle thinking is, most people I would be like, all right, well, this dude's sitting right next to me. There's like 6 other seats open. I'm going to move my seat down. Nobody's going to care. Kyle, no, I bought this fucking seat. I'm sitting in this fucking seat.
I don't care if they bought their seat too, but it was just like, so what I'm going to do next time, is I'm going to space it. I'm going to buy like 17 and 19. and then
spend extra money for 2 seats.
No, I'm not spending any extra money. I'm gonna buy seat 17, and then whoever I go with is gonna go in seat 19. But chances are, what are the chances that one dude's gonna buy the seat in the middle? Then you just scoot over
surprised.
one. But then you just scoot over one.
Yeah.
So then, and if nobody does it, then you can scoot over and you still have that. You don't have to fucking sit next to somebody.
It'll be like Harold and Kumar go to White Castle where he's taking a piss in the bush and then the random dude just comes out of nowhere and starts pissing next to him. It's the same thing about a urinal. You're pissing in a urinal and there's all these open ones and then some dude's got to take the one right next to you.
Until he's vegan.
Yeah, until he's vegan. So you don't get so skeptical when his piss smells like asparagus.
Oh god, I still remember the first time I did that.
What, piss like asparagus or took a piss?
Yeah, I never had asparagus before, and so I tried it one time, and nobody ever told me that makes your pee stink. So I was going to the bathroom the next day, and I was like, "What the fuck? This is fucked." Yeah, so I Googled it, and it said I had cancer. So then I was freaking out for like 10 days. I was holding this secret in, and then finally I let it out, and my wife just starts laughing, "Dumbass. You had asparagus that makes you." I was like, "Oh, really?" She's like, "Google it." And I was like, "Oh, fuck.
I have cancer. My pee stinks."
Dude, Google it. I have smelly pee. Google it, man. It says you got cancer.
Yeah, dude, anything says you have cancer.
I kept that inside for like 10 days because I didn't know how to break it to everybody. I didn't go to a doctor or anything. I was just going to like hold it inside until I died.
Yeah.
But
your heart attack?
Yeah, like my heart attack.
Your non-heart attack.
Strong like ox.
What did you guys think of the Bill and Ted Face the Music release date announcement?
Stoked.
Yeah.
I think the dude who plays Bill, it was looking a little rough.
They're old,
man. Preston Esquire.
Yeah. Keanu Reeves looks like he's going to pull it off, but I don't know if they're going to pull off that whole like surfer dude talk in this movie.
It's Bill and Ted Face the Music, right?
Yep.
It's awesome.
The plot of it seems interesting, though. But I want to know what they'll do with Rufus. I hope they don't recast him.
I hope they just do a hologram.
Yeah, or make it someone else. Don't even have Carlin in it.
Yeah, just don't even don't say anything about it.
I'm afraid you're going to ruin it.
You think so?
They ruin everything nowadays. I mean, I'm afraid they are, but I hope they aren't.
It can't be any worse than Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
I was just about to say that. Number 2.
I love Bogus Journey.
I mean,
I love both movies, though.
Yeah, the first one's great. You could tell the second one, I think they had to write it a little bit quicker than the first one. And
I think like death makes the second one.
Yeah, he is funny in it. But I don't know. We'll see. I think it's going to be good.
So do I.
I think it's going to be one of those things where it's just they know. And goddamn, when was the second one came out in the first one? They've had plenty of time to write a really nice fucking script for it.
Yeah.
They've had plenty of time. They goddamn better well fucking have aced it and fucking did what they're supposed to.
I'm ready to see how the Wild Stallions music shapes the world. Brings the world together.
Be excellent to each other.
Station.
Yeah.
The dude in my class, I was talking about it with my teacher, my math teacher, and the dude, he's a cool dude. He sits next to me. He comes in the chat and talks to us. It's the Slayer. He's like, I never seen that, and I was like, what? How the fuck have you not seen Bill and Ted? Well, he's 20.
He's youngin'.
But I was like, okay, this is your homework for the weekend. Your homework is to watch Bill and Ted, and come back on Monday. Tell me how awesome Bill and Ted was.
You know what? I hate when they come back and they go, oh, yeah, I didn't like that movie.
I just blame it on.
Yeah, you're just
a stupid kid.
Yeah, I was about that stupid kid.
You're just a dumb millennial. You don't know what's good. You eat cauliflower rice and drive electric cars.
You're a vegan.
You're a vegan. Brian, someone's breaking in your house again.
Stop him. Stop him.
Oh, there goes 2 long boxes out the door.
Oh, my God.
It's game over. It's game over, Brian.
Hopefully it doesn't have all the good shit in it.
No. They already took those out.
those are put away.
Yeah.
Those are upstairs under your mattress.
Yeah.
Where you keep your millions.
What do you guys think about the Deadwood trailer?
I did not watch it.
Did you guys watch Deadwood the series?
I did not watch it.
That's where she sells weed, right?
No, that's weed.
Oh.
Deadwood is like a cowboy movie, right? Or a cowboy show, right?
It's so good. I watched it like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years after the last one ended. And I was up in Seattle. I was helping my buddy move up there, and all he had were DVDs. So I started watching it. Man, I did watch those things for like a day and a half straight. I watched every episode. It was so good. And then they didn't even fucking end it correctly. So now we're finally getting an ending, or at least hopefully something.
Oh yeah, I love that show. And actually, there was a marathon of season 1 on yesterday. I just signed up for that HBO Go stuff, so I'm gonna go see if I can watch it on there.
Oh, that sucks. I could have just given you my password.
Yeah,
I have HBO Go too. I think, I don't know.
If you have HBO, the channel, you have HBO Go.
Oh, cool! I got HBO Go too. It's like my favorite channel.
I'm really stoked that they're thinking about doing a Old Republic. The 2 showrunners for Game of Thrones are going to do the Star Wars Old Republic show.
Yep.
It'll get canceled, like everything Star Wars related right now that's not run by Disney. It'll get canceled.
It'll get canceled.
And that shit. Cancel it. What did you think of Stranger Things 3 trailer?
It was kind of ominous and short.
That's Matt's favorite word.
Ominous. It's dark and ominous. I think it's going to be great.
Is Jose in the podcast right now?
No. Why? Someone sleeping?
Like rapper.
Oh, sorry.
Brian's eating candy.
Yeah, I forgot to mute it that time.
He's taking over the role of Jose.
I thought Tim was falling asleep over there. He's being so quiet.
I know. What'd you think of it, Tim?
I haven't seen it.
What?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I didn't even make it through the 2nd season of Stranger Things.
No, you didn't like it?
Really?
I liked the 1st season. The 2nd season, I was like 3 or 4 episodes in. I just couldn't keep my interest. And maybe I didn't last long enough to.
It happened.
Maybe I needed to stick it out.
That's how I am with Doom Patrol. Like, I really like Doom Patrol, but I can only make it to like the 35-minute mark of each episode, and then I fall asleep. And I'm like, oh yeah, I watched Doom Patrol, and then the next episode starts, and I'm like, when the fuck did this shit happen? Where the fuck did they get here? So I'm like, I have to go back and rewatch it all, but that's usually how I am too.
Yeah, Doom Patrol hasn't really been that great last couple of episodes.
But you guys are probably more familiar with Doom Patrol than I am. What's with the donkey farting text messages? Like, I was lost on that.
I don't get that either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. I haven't seen it, so what goes on?
Basically, there's a whole another like universe in this donkey's ass.
Inside of it?
Inside of a donkey, yeah.
So kind of like the locker in Men in Black, but inside of a
kind of,
donkey.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember when they first showed up, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" Like farted out this big green gas.
Like, I don't want to give too much away, but the new episode, there's a giant balloon shaped like an ass. It's actually a human's ass carrying a jukebox that shows up. So
what song is it playing?
it's playing one song over and over again that drives people insane. Kind of like it kind of has a very no, it's not Easy Street. It has a very Kingsman vibe to it, to what happens. Like, people just start going crazy. If you've ever seen Kingsman in the church scene.
Yeah, what a great scene that was.
It's an awesome scene.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to Stranger Things season 3. Looking forward to see where things are going. They're definitely changing. They're changing the narrative and the direction of the show since the kids are getting older.
Yeah.
So I'm super stoked for that.
I thought it was cool. The day before they gave us the trailer, they gave us this like 7-second teaser of rats running.
Yeah.
Which really had nothing to do with anything, because then they showed a whole other trailer.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of cool. They like hyped themselves.
Yeah.
Like, they got everybody on this bandwagon of, oh shit, Stranger Things, and it was really nothing, but then they dropped the bombshell the next day or something. I thought that was that's fucking smart.
The only thing I hate about Stranger Things is I can't stand Winona Ryder. Her acting is so terrible. It's really hard to watch.
That bad, huh?
Man, it's fucking bad.
I just see Lydia Dietz, so
yeah, right.
That's it.
I saw a really badass Beetlejuice shirt the other day. It was all like the old school neon colors during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Badass.
Actually, Lydia Dietz, I think she just friend requested me on Facebook today. I'll have to accept it now that, you know.
Bullshit.
What?
She friend requested you.
Lydia Dietz Dietz did. Here. I'll show you guys.
Well, if you guys watch the second season, the only thing I want to know is, do you ever find out where's Barb? Is Barb gone?
She's dead. She's dead.
She's completely dead. Okay.
Yeah. They acknowledge that real quick, that she's done though.
Dead. Let me see.
Mad dead.
You guys watch that Sabrina show? I heard that's pretty good.
Kyle watched it. I didn't care for it.
I loved it. And the next season comes out like in a month, and I'm stoked. Then the next season, it comes out in April.
I'm looking forward to The Boys. That's gonna be cool. That's coming out soon.
That's gonna be on
Amazon, I think.
Is it?
Amazon, I think.
Is it on Amazon?
What channel is Amazon, I think?
I know Watchmen. Watchmen is going to be on HBO soon. What else? Game of Thrones is coming back next month.
I'm super stoked for that. I'm actually kind of bummed out at the same time because I know it's ending.
Yeah, but you're going to get a bunch of prequels for it and stuff.
Yeah. So. Well, I hope they do the prequels. It's like with having the original showrunners, the original showrunners doing the Star Wars thing now, it's kind of shitty.
Yeah. God, there was something else that happened today that I was something else that's happened that I was gonna talk about. Yeah, are you sad, Kyle, that Supernatural's ending?
Yeah, it's a bummer. But you know what? 15 seasons, that's a damn good run.
It is.
I mean, the fucking Big Bang Theory didn't even make it that far.
Especially for a show that most people don't even know even seen it.
Yeah. I mean, it's huge. Like, like I was at the bar one night and I'm sitting there and there's like a lady sitting like two seats down. She sits down, she puts her purse up. And I was like, you got a Supernatural purse, that was her purse. Was it had all the supernatural symbols on it, and I was like, I kind of did point and see you had supernatural purse, gave her the nod and everything, but then she got up and left.
Yeah, so looking at this, Kyle, you are right. They did start laying off yesterday and today. They started laying off people from Fox. So it looks like they are kind of keeping a majority of the staff for a 3 to 6 month transitional period, but that's it.
It's like Fox 2000 part, I think, is what they're like axing that.
Yeah. There's one division of Fox they were definitely fucking axing.
Yeah. So real quick, last thing I have for this week is let's really quick talk about Walking Dead. Did you watch Walking Dead, Kyle?
Yes, sir.
What did you think?
Another good episode.
Dude, 9 seasons.
It was awesome.
It was by far the darkest episode of The Walking Dead they have done yet.
Hey, man, Michonne had to make a decision, and she made it.
She did. And she murdered a bunch of little kids. Like,
I mean, it wasn't like she didn't blindside them. They were coming at her with fucking swords and knives. So it wasn't like this rage thing. It was she did it for purpose. That she had 2 purposes behind it. 1, to live.
Yeah.
2, to get Judith back. So I mean,
and save RJ, Rick Jr.
Yeah.
But
and you saw how Daryl and Michonne get the X's on their back. It was fucked.
Yeah, it was crazy.
What was that? What were the X's on the back? What was that?
So essentially, what happens is, it's kind of like a flashback episode where Judith leaves Alexandria to go try to help Daryl, and Michonne's trying to find her. So it flashes back to when she's pregnant and she's searching for Rick. So it shows up like it opens with her searching for Rick where the explosion happened, and she finds his gun in the dirt. And basically one of her friends, an old friend from before the apocalypse, shows up at the gate. Like they find him and some kids out wandering. So they bring her back to Alexandria. And it turns out that she's like psychotic.
And she's trained this group of kids to fucking
be murderers.
Just to do whatever, steal, murder, just defend. Like she has this, like, I think she's like another one that were like kind of like Shane. Shane was ahead of his time for The Walking Dead.
Right.
Like
yeah.
His mentality for The Walking Dead was way before everybody else. Is like he figured it out really early. Like this shit is different, and this is a different world that we're living in. When everybody else, and when everyone else is still trying to grasp at the old. And it was the same thing with this lady. She was like, we can't coddle these kids and we can't pretend like there's nothing going on. These, so she was training him to be able to do whatever it took. But yeah, they had her they had them both all tied up, man. They fucking had this little girl, man. They fucking heated up the X and fucking branded her.
What was the X for?
They actually didn't say.
Yeah, they didn't cover what it was for, but they were branding them. And like she was teaching these little kids for everything. So like they basically like befriended Judith and all the other kids in the town, and basically like coerced them to leave with them. And so Michonne went looking for him, and like the kids were killers too, so they were ready to fight off with her with knives and stuff. And Michonne had to make a decision, and she made that decision, and she murked them all.
Yeah, she was just slicing them up.
It's by far one of the darkest episodes in The Walking Dead's 9 seasons. And it was fantastic. And if Denai does not get nominated for an Emmy after that, there's something wrong, because that was one of her best episodes.
Easy, I gave Captain Marvel a 9.5.
Wait, what?
I said easy. I gave Captain Marvel a 9.5.
I changed it to 8.5. Yeah. Give me a break. But I definitely do. I think that was one of her best episodes, and she did some fantastic acting in that episode.
She was being a mama.
That's one of the things that why The Walking Dead was so genius to me is because, you're not talking The Walking Dead. You're not talking about, those actual zombies. It's the fucking people who are still alive. They're Walking Dead. They're basically donezo.
Yeah. At some point, the show's going to end itself because the zombies are just going to decay into nothingness.
Yeah. Sorry, Tim. What were you going to say?
You guys are, I know you really love the show. I used to love the show and it got away from me. But so this season's like really good again.
Really good.
Yeah. Season 9 is definitely worth coming back to watch.
Don't you listen to the show?
I do, but
no, he's too busy doing more talking on the chat than he's actually doing it on the show.
So there's a lot of Captain Marvel 9.5s and
fucking shots fired back, huh? Return fire.
But I mean, I know you guys have like a real more of an affliction or I guess for the show than I do anymore. So I didn't know if it's like legitimately good or you might feel like you're a little bit biased because you really want it to succeed.
I think it's actually really good.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
So the whole Negan killed me. And it wasn't the character of Negan, just when the all-out war kind of started. And I was just losing because there's so many filler episodes. Just like the second season when they were looking for Carol's daughter. I can't remember her name now.
Sophia.
There were so many filler episodes. It was just hard to watch. And then they go and kill Carl, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
That was such a big, bad move.
I'm an absolute Negan fanatic, and I think Kyle is too. And like, I absolutely love Negan. I love the character. I think he's one of the best villains in comics. I think you could put him right up there with like the likes of the Joker as far as his comic book portrayal goes. And they absolutely shit all over him when they transitioned him to TV. Like they just did not write that character well for TV at all. And it's not necessarily Jeffrey Dean Morgan's portrayal of the character. It's how he's written, and the fact that there's a lot of aspects of Negan that they can't show on cable television or they can't use on cable television. Like, one of the things that makes Negan is his use of profanity. Like, he makes profanity look like an art form.
Yep.
And they can't do that on the show. Whereas in this season, they took a character like Alpha transitioned perfectly. Yeah. I almost like Alpha more in the show than I did in the comic book, because between the actress they got to play her and the actor they got to play Beta, and just the way they're handling the Whisperers, she's more brutal, she's more vindictive, she's more cold, she's like more calculated, like she's just amplified in the show versus what she was in the comic book, and transitioned so well. And just season 9, like, I thought the show would be dead after you kill Rick, you kill Carl, or well, you didn't kill Rick, but after Rick's off the show, they killed Carl off. Like, I thought the show would absolutely be in the gutter, but season 9, they got the new showrunner in, and it's been like a whole new show again. It's back to like season 1 good.
What are they doing to fill the void with the Whisperers with Carl? Like, what are they doing to? So
there's another little boy there, or well, not little boy, he's a teenager now, named Henry. So they've pretty much had Henry, who is now Carol and Ezekiel's adopted son.
I still thought Lydia was gonna lick his wound.
I thought so too.
Did you, when they were sitting there on the steps and she was like massaging it and like, putting her hand across? I was like, she's gonna fucking lick it. She's gonna lick it. Do it.
They basically have Henry taking over the Carl role, and he's the one that's moving that story forward.
Yeah,
because that was like the straw that broke the camel's back for me when they were okay. Well, here come the Whisperers, and then they kill Carl. I was like, well, how is that going to work? I'm done.
They've done what they've always done in The Walking Dead. They just put somebody else in those shoes.
Yeah, and they're splitting a lot of Carl's great comic book moments between Henry and Judith. Like, Judith is getting a lot of the great moments with the Negan conversations, as to where Henry's getting the more of the love triangle aspect of it. So like Henry is becoming the blacksmith, and now he's the one that's got Lydia, but Judith is the one that's befriended Negan, and so they've kind of taken the character of Carl from the book and split it and spread it across two different people.
Hashtag not my Judith.
Well, considering Judith doesn't make it past the prison in the comics,
right?
My Judith died in the prison.
Yeah,
in the car seat.
And she got crushed. My Judith got suffocated when Lori fell on her in the womb and died. But my only gripe with The Walking Dead right now is everybody's pregnant, and it's kind of stupid. But I guess it's understandable when there's nothing to do in the zombie apocalypse other than bump uglies.
Yeah, but babies are such a bad idea.
Yeah. And they show that with the Whisperers. Like you see that as part of the Whisperers, and like you see how cold they are and like disconnected they are.
But you gotta have kids. It's the only way it's gonna keep going.
Yeah. Like there's when the Whisperers come to confront Hilltop, they're all standing out there, and this woman and this Whisperer has a baby with her around all these other zombies, and they comment, and then the babies start crying, and the zombies start walking towards them. She sets the baby down and walks the fuck away. Like she rocks out. They end up saving the baby, and she's adopted by one of the other people at the Hilltop. But like the Whisperer woman sets the baby down and walks off.
Wow.
If I were you, Tim, I would jump on season 9
for sure.
Yeah. Yep, just start it. Go back. You don't need they time jump, so everything's set, and so you could just roll with it. It's a good Walking Dead jumping on place if you've bailed.
Yeah, the last episode that I truly watched was the one where they went to the museum and they were getting the plows, and then there was the stupid glass floor in the main room of the museum, and everything started falling.
Yeah, that was like episode 2 or 3 of season 2 or of season 9. That was very early in season 9.
Yeah, that's just that killed me. Just season like a few seasons ago,
was it 8? No, it was 9.
It
was like the first. No, it was like the first couple episodes of 9, because 9 was at the beginning of 9 is when they had the time jump, the first time jump. It was before they did all that before the bridge exploded because Rick was still there.
Oh yeah.
Because now they're doing everything on horseback and with more primitive weapons because they're running out of bullets. Because Eugene didn't do the one thing he was good for and build bullets.
Where is Eugene in the?
He's back.
Oh, he is
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he still have the mullet?
Yes.
It's transformed into more like a ponytail now.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Because they had a 6-year time jump, so everybody grew their hair out. Because they couldn't have done it in the beginning of The Walking Dead, because the barbers must have died between seasons 1 through 7.
But
all the lawns are really cut and everybody was clean shaven. Then the barbers and the groundskeepers must have all died.
Hey, Rick got a haircut when he came to Alexandria. Alexandria's got a barber somewhere.
They all were pretty clean cut for a lot of seasons, and then it kind of stopped. Somebody realized, hey, where the fuck are they getting all these razors from to keep shaving their faces?
But they're definitely setting to take the Whisperers over into season 10, and I'm honestly 100% okay with that because they have been fantastic.
The furthest that it goes is halfway through the next season. I don't want season 10 to be all Whisperers either. They need to, because I think what'll happen with season 10 is it'll start stretching it out, and then we're going to start getting filler episodes again.
I think season 10 you're going to start getting glimpses. They're going to start getting glimpses that Rick Grimes is still alive, and that Michonne is going to leave to go try to find Rick, and that's how they're going to write her off the show.
He's going to fly back in a helicopter. He's going to drop a note,
a care package.
Yeah.
He's going to drop a care package.
He's just gonna fly by a helicopter and wave like Miss America.
Didn't they say this week that the movie's coming this year? Like the first of the movies?
Yeah, his first movie is supposed to be this year.
Wow. So he quit the show to go back to his family to stay here to make a movie.
Yeah. Now he's gone for 3 months at a time.
Let's do the same thing.
I'm sure it's probably easier to be away in the summer and stuff when his kids are all out of school than Who cares? It's his life.
Yeah, he's probably getting paid a shit ton of money to do it. So
yeah.
I think he's seen a sinking ship in the show and he bailed.
I think that's the ticket. He was scared because there's people like me that I'm not part of the minority. I'm part of the majority. There's so many people that are shitting on the show, much like me, just because it's taken such an odd turn from the books, and the books are so good. So I kind of think he was like, yeah, let's get off this train before it derails.
I think that's what all of them did. They got kind of Maggie and Michonne. Michonne's getting that Marvel money and not getting her name on the Avengers poster.
Rick's I did it. That was the 100% it, Kyle.
I think Rick's, I think they're getting these offers. The show Maggie's doing is fucking exploding. It's fucking like the #1 show right now. The Whiskey, whatever it's called.
Whiskey Cavalier.
I've still yet to watch it. But
she looked hot, so much hotter in it than she did in Walking Dead.
I think she looks hotter when she's all dirty with greasy hair.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to start distancing themselves from the comic. I think.
Oh yeah, big time.
I think they're going to do meat and potatoes of the Commonwealth, and then I think they're just going to go there.
The Commonwealth storyline has been very political. It hasn't really been much like Walking Dead-esque, like previous storylines. It's been very political.
But it's been kind of a putt-along story, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the only thing is they would have to kill... The only reason why I think they might not go in that direction is if they stick to the storyline of they would have to end up having to kill Daryl.
Mm.
Right?
That's like the whole cast, basically.
I guess it would be, since Rick's not there to kill Daryl, I wonder if it'd be like Daryl to kill Aaron or...
I think at some point, Fear and Walking Dead crossover, and you're going to end up seeing like the events from different perspectives, but because that seems to be what it's going to be. Like they're going to merge into the same show because that seems to be like what's happening. Because Dwight's still alive technically.
When they started Fear of the Walking Dead, how far back was it set from the episode 1 of Walking Dead?
Fear was right at the beginning of everything, right at the beginning of shit hitting the fan.
So there was only it was supposed to be only like a 6 month difference.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Rick wakes up, it's like 4 or 6 months into the zombie apocalypse.
So maybe that's why they're doing these time jumps so they can,
keep them distant.
Yeah, no, so they can bring them together.
Well, they're doing the time jumps because the books did the time jumps.
Yeah,
to make things line up.
Yeah,
they kind of had to, but I don't know. But yeah, I definitely have to say season 9.
It's a good season. 9 is a good season to jump back on and come back to The Walking Dead. So I totally recommend it. I give it a 9.5.
Shut the fuck up. Fuck you.
I mean an 8.5.
Fuck you.
Oh man.
Fuck you.
When does Shazam come out? Shazam come out this upcoming Thursday?
No, next month.
Next month?
I think so. I think it's next month.
It's April 5th.
Yeah, there you go. Next month.
It's to be interesting to see how that movie plays out.
So much good stuff next month. Oh my god. Avengers, Game of Thrones.
Like 31 days away.
Something like that, yeah.
She looks awesome in the trailer. She looks badass in the Avengers trailer. Like she's going to be a real badass in it,
Oh, Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Wow, all you see is her talk to Steve, or all you see is her have that conversation with Thor.
Yeah, but, they totally set her up like she don't take no shit. She's not afraid of anybody,
Summon Stormbringer to him, and she doesn't even flinch.
Yeah.
He doesn't go for the head.
Yeah, he doesn't go for the head.
Yeah.
He wants her to go for the head.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. He likes her.
Yeah, he
likes that one.
Like this one.
So everyone saw the Toy Story 4 trailer, I take it.
Yeah.
Fucking Sporky.
Yeah, Sporky.
I'm so stoked for Sporky.
I have a feeling that movie is going to end up being absolutely heartbreaking at the end.
I was just about to say that. Yep, I could see that too.
I heard what happens is all the toys catch on fire and they melt.
Well, they would have done that last one where they're all holding hands in the incinerator, and it's that whole Holocaust moment.
Oh, I didn't see the last one. I was just fucking around.
The last one?
No.
Definitely watch.
Nah, I'm cool.
But yeah, I think it's going to be absolutely heartbreaking.
That's
okay.
Right.
Dude, Toy Story is one of my favorite Disney Pixar.
Yeah, that movie was great, man. The first one was amazing.
Like, people are like, oh, Incredibles or Finding Nemo. Not for me, man. It's Toy Story.
Yeah.
But that's all I got.
Roger Rabbit.
Did you give it a 9.5?
Shut the fuck up, Kyle.
The last time.
So, did you guys pick up any other books in the trade?
No, that's all I got this week was the trade. There really wasn't anything good else coming out.
I think I picked up. I think like Batman came out, Nightwing, Titans, and Venom.
How's
I'm
Venom?
not reading any of those.
How's Venom going? Is it Donnie?
I'm not reading it. I just collect it. It's one of the ones I just haven't taken it off my pull list.
Yeah,
into it.
The set's actually really hot right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was thinking about putting them out and actually selling because I have all of them.
You see how much Immortal Hulk books are going for right now?
It's fucking insane.
It's crazy. You think
they're going for a lot?
Oh my god, man!
I wonder what the one I just picked up is going for.
They are going for a shit ton.
The Alex Ross variant I just picked up.
Yeah, if you have there's an Alex Ross Virgin variant in one of them in the set, and that thing's going for like $700 raw.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got this one. I don't know if you could see it because of the glare, but
yeah, that's a good one. The only one I picked up was his first appearance in forget what book that was. That one's going for a lot. Oh yeah, it was an Avengers book. He's on the cover.
The Immortal Hulk?
Yeah.
I like in a lot of these comic book groups, you could tell when something's hot because a lot of people start going, I really need to get this book for my kid, and it's the book that's going for $200.
Oh man, I hate people like that.
I'm really interested in the story now, so can I get it for below the going rate price because I'm a collector?
Yeah, I hate that shit, man. They ruined that. That's why Adam Hughes don't do sketches anymore.
They just jump in and I don't know. Yeah.
This is the first appearance. This book. Here's the cover for it. It's Avengers 684 is what they're calling the first appearance. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, this book's going for a pretty penny supposedly.
So I'm just gonna put it back.
Yeah, no, it's in my posting pile.
Brian's got to show it off just to rep his clout, and then away he goes.
Yeah. Did you guys see that shit about Adam 22 and that guy that came in and from No Jumper? He came in and
with a fake gun,
and then another guy did the same thing the next day.
Yep, crazy shit.
Fucking people, man.
But that's all I got for this week. You guys got anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to cover?
You got anything, Tim?
Yeah, Tim. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. You've been a chatterbox this whole time. Don't stop on us now.
No.
Riveting stuff, Tim.
So
didn't you say you're trying to start a podcast?
Yeah.
When you have a podcast, you have to talk.
Yeah. Agreed. But
no, he told me it's called the Dead Air Podcast.
Yeah.
Is that a 3D printer behind you?
Yes. That is two 3D printers.
You using them quite often? I see that looks like what are those schematics above you? It's a BB-8 and a R2D2. Are you trying to make one?
Yeah. I'm actually if you can see past the junk, there's a R2 dome over there in the background.
Oh, that's fucking dope.
And so R2 is Project 1 and BB-8 is Project 2.
So how long have you been doing it?
Let's see, November, roughly. And it's a lot of pieces to print.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time. That dome itself, it's six wedges, and all of the blue panels are separate. It's probably like 70 hours of printing.
Wow.
Damn.
Where did you get the printers? Is it something you just ordered online?
Yeah, Amazon. I got those two, and I got another one in the box that I just got last week that I can do an entire R2 dome in one piece. So
sorry.
Go ahead.
What do those things run? What do those things cost? I mean, are like for a cheaper one and for a high price one, what are the ranges?
Well, these are like they're go-tos. I mean, they're really widely used. They're CR10s. They go anywhere from $300 to $450, depending on the day of the week and whatever Amazon has going on, whatever store has a sale.
It's not bad for all the shit you can do with them.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff out there that's open source, like R2 is open source. There's a guy that has spent hundreds of thousands of hours, it seems like, with CAD programs, just making the files and going over and making them again until he gets them right and distributes them on the internet for free.
That's badass.
I got a buddy. He made a Kylo Ren mask, and he made a full Stormtrooper outfit from his 3D printer.
Oh, really?
Kyle wants a 3D printer to make an action figure of himself.
Yeah, I want to make one of my heart because it's so awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So strong. It's so strong and hunky.
Yeah.
Strong like bull.
Strong like bull.
It's great. If you buy one, though, be ready for failure.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Any like it probably wouldn't happen as much with you guys, but here where I am, humidity is really high, and there's lots of temperature variations based on humidity. So if somebody opens the back door mid-print and you get like not even a big fluctuation in temperature, you end up with a failed print just because of everything changed so much. The temperature has to remain so consistent.
Yeah, it sucks.
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
I'm surprised there isn't like a little scanning machine you can throw stuff in and it scans them real quick. Like, say if you want to make like an action figure, you throw it in like a machine and close the door and it scans them and then it just sends it to the printer.
There is. It's real expensive.
Yeah.
There's a way to do it with a Kinect from an Xbox.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
But
one of the guys that's creating like counterfeit Star Wars figures is doing that.
Nice.
What do they do now?
So the Xbox Kinect is like, it uses like 3D scanning to be able to put you in to be the controller for a game. So you can capture images with your computer and do a 3D scan and then change it into a file that the printer can print.
So like you could stand there naked and it would 3D scan you and put it in?
Everything it can see.
Damn it. Then fuck it, never mind.
There's that quick wit.
There it is.
Figure on that note.
If I could set that one up too. God damn it.
He redeemed himself.
Right, yeah. So you have 3 that you're gonna soon have 3.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. Does it make your room hot? Does it make it like what's up with them?
Not really. It's just like a slight annoying.
Like an old printer.
It's loud enough that it's not bad when you're in another room or when you're in here, but it's too loud for me to actually be running the printer while doing this.
What made you want to get into this? Is it just like a personal hobby, or are you going to start doing it for like commissions for people who want like R2 droids? Or
I ran into some guys at a con that build droids, and I was just amazed. One of the guys that lives local around here has one of the few rolling BB-8s that there are in the country.
Oh wow!
Because there's only a handful of them, and this thing was just amazing. The movements it made, it's like pretty much everything, but you know, the extravagant things you see it do in the movies, it pretty much does. It was, I couldn't believe that he made it.
Wow.
Life size.
Yes, life size.
That's dope.
So what's the biggest piece that you can make in those ones at one time?
So the ones behind me will go 12 by 12 by 15. So 12 by 12 this way, and then 15 high. The new one does 20 by 20 by 20.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I would love to fucking have one of those and make action figures. And you know, the first thing I try to make, I'd make muscle men, little muscles.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, if you couldn't like replicate like a garbage pail kid, like almost like a card, but make them like a 3-dimensional looking one.
Yeah.
Like that would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, I'd be wasting too much time on that thing for sure.
It's not really wasting time. You like set it and forget it. I mean,
there's a steep learning curve though in there.
Yeah, just adjustments. It's not really, there's not much to learn. The computer does pretty much everything, and the software is free. So once you get a file that you know is good and you convert it where the printer can read it, as long as you have everything adjusted, it's walk away.
What is it? Is it the adjustment is like the amount of product you put in it to make it, or the type, or like adjustment as in like the first time you try to make it, it's like wonky looking, and then you have to like minutely go in and like do like slight adjustments with like a screwdriver type of thing or something.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the bars going across on there. All of that is adjustable. The bed at the bottom moves backwards and forwards, so you have belts that move it on the track. So you know, just tightness of the belt. Making sure everything's square, because if you're off a little bit, the printer doesn't care. It keeps going. So if you try to print something that's square, it might be on one side and on the other, even though it thinks it's right. You know?
Yeah.
So that and heat, depending on what material you're using, heat is a big difference.
They're freaking cool, that's for sure.
So how long did it take you to build an R2 droid from start to finish?
If with one printer, if you run it 24/7, 365, just running it, about 6 months to print it, and
Holy shit.
And then that doesn't count sanding, paint, electronics.
Oh wow.
Oh, so this is a long-term project. This is like a fixing up an old car type of project.
Now, are you printing the entire thing or just only certain parts of it?
Everything on the outside.
So even like the body for the R2 unit and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I got hold on, I'm gonna pull a Brian again.
You know what I would do if I had a 3D printer? I'd make a big black dildo for Matt to put on his forehead for an episode.
I was waiting for that to come out. I'm not gonna have to, because they're not gonna notice.
I think so. I think you're gonna have
I
to wear
even found modern comic book staples on eBay, or not eBay, but on Amazon that I'm gonna order to use.
Are you really?
Yep.
All right. So, like, there's most of a leg.
Oh, that's freaking dope.
That's in 3 pieces. So, I mean, it's pretty hard. It's PLA, so it's like a byproduct of corn.
Uh-huh.
So you can melt it down and put it in your car as gas.
Just say no. Just don't even entertain the question. Yeah, there you go. Just a thumbs up. Thumbs up works.
And
don't even entertain it.
I just appreciate that Greg got out of here without a stupid, do they call it Chinese or Japanese food question.
That's not stupid.
I didn't know anything about the book, and that's all I could think of the whole time. Was that in Japan they just eat food. They don't eat Japanese food.
Yeah. That question to me still sounds like some question like a genius would ask. He was just so smart that it sounds stupid to us.
The setup was gold.
Yeah.
Kyle was before his time.
So there's
I am before my time.
Bottom ring, the body will be like 3 rings stacked on top of each other, which will.
Oh, that's interesting.
So do you have a motor in it and everything?
Yeah, it will. I don't have any of the electronics and haven't done much of the planning for the electronics as of yet because I'm so early on. But
because you're still like 5 years away from that.
No. By the end of the summer, I plan to have it standing.
Dope.
That's 3 printers.
So in August, you'll definitely have to, or whenever you get it done, you'll definitely have to come back on and show us.
Yeah.
Like this whole okay, I've spent the last 6,000 hours of my life, and look at this cool ass thing that I made. You totally have to come on and you'll have to do like a video or something of like an 80s montage type of thing if you putting it together.
Look at Kyle. When you're listening, when in August, he's not gonna be listening to us in August. Let's be real.
80s montage.
Yes,
nice.
We've got like a 6-month shelf life at best with people.
6 months.
6. Well, I guess I'm about due then because
see, told you about 6 months. It'll be after this. He'll be like, man, I don't know if I ever want to go on that podcast again, and just slowly stop listening.
No,
the chat will never be the same.
No, that's cool though. That's fucking awesome. Is that the only thing you've tried to make so far? You haven't tried to make something else?
A bunch of junk around the house, you know.
His question is: have you tried replicating a wiener? That's what he wants to know. Because he just said he wants to 3D print a big black dick. That's what he's getting to.
Well,
he wants to know if you've ever scanned your junk and been like, "Let me see if I can 3D print it."
That's a yes.
No comment.
Your silence speaks volumes.
Yeah, no comment. Yeah, just a bunch of useless junk around the house.
I'd make a yo-yo. It'd be a Kyle.
I want to know how your brain works sometimes, Kyle.
What?
Just because you're sitting there looking off. I'd make a yo-yo.
Right?
It's the weirdest thing.
Where'd you get that yo-yo? I fucking made it.
Yeah.
As you're fucking walking the dog.
I'd make an action figure or something cool, and then I'd make a yo-yo.
Dude, you could pick your own string. Dude,
he's gonna be making dice. Remember those? There's always a kid in wood shop or metal shop that was making dice.
Yeah.
That's cool though that you're making your own droids and stuff that's a lot of work, man.
Yeah, it's something, but who as a kid that's seen Star Wars didn't want their own R2?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I ran into these guys at a local con. There's a guy around here that's got one that's made completely out of aluminum. And
nice.
I think he has 50 or 60 grand tied up in this thing.
That's a lot of work.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
I'd rather tie it up in comic books.
Right.
But
and food.
It just basic to get this thing to move around and all that. I think you can do it for about $1,200, which considering the size of it,
it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, people pay $300-$400 for statues, Spider-Man statues and whatnot. You know, a full
$300-$400 for a piece of paper with drawings on it.
Yeah.
But $1,200 for a full size R2. That's
the BB-8 one's going to be really cool.
Yeah, those things are amazing.
Are you going to try and get yours to be free moving like the one in the movie?
What's BB-8?
Yeah.
I would like to. One of the guys that lives around here that's in like the local droid builders group has he has like an engineering background. Mm-hmm. So his has a lot of stuff that none of the other ones have. And the movement is much more organic and looks more like how it moves in the movie. It looks lifelike, where a lot of times you see them and it's just
clunky.
Yeah. Like they roll around and the head's trying to fall off of it and whatnot. But his is spectacular.
So if you can, you can't just print anything. You have to find a file that's got all the layers that go with it. Then.
Yes, or you got to do it yourself.
Is there a lot of like stuff to choose from, or is it limited?
There's a ton of stuff. There's all kinds of free stuff out there on a couple different websites. There's people that will make things like Iron Man armor, and they'll make the files, and then they go through selling it through their website in a really shady way so they don't get sued.
Nice.
I think you need to print Matt a big black dildo so he can put it on his forehead.
Again, I knew that's where you were going with those questions.
Yeah, well,
again, it's not happening. I'm not gonna wear it because I'm gonna be right.
I don't think I want to stare at the printer for 22 hours just watching it grow a dick.
Yeah,
I mean,
come on now.
Yes, you will.
I would.
You would feel like God. Like, look at my creation. I can make you as big as small as I want to.
I mean, if you want one that bad, I'll go to the store. I know Matt said he didn't want to, and I'll just send it out that way, guys.
I don't know if I want it that bad.
It'd be so cool to have our own printed, custom black dildo for Matt's forehead.
It's not happening because I'm not gonna be wrong.
I gotta pick the book out. What book should I pick out?
It's gonna be a modern book with modern staples.
Okay, modern book. I'll do a Batman, but I know exactly the book we'll do. I'll dig it out. It's one of the Batman wedding issues.
One of the what?
One of the Batman wedding issues. I got a few different variants for it. We'll even send it. We'll even send a variant in.
Isn't it nice to be on a podcast with people that aren't against spending a couple $100 to see someone wear a giant black dildo on their head for an episode?
It's gonna be so worth it.
I have no shame.
Are you gonna suction cup it straight to your forehead? Or are you gonna attach it to
helmet, no, I'll suction cup it. It's gonna be just like this.
I hope it's one that kind of bends over and flops and like hits you in the nose once in a while.
I'm gonna full on straight unicorn it. Hits me in the nose once in a while.
That'd be fucking funny.
Oh, that's funny.
But no, what we'll do is when we take the books to CGC at Phoenix Comic-Con, it'll be in the stack. We'll even get it fucking autographed.
There you go.
I'm changing my plan now. I'm gonna go back and see the guests, and we're also gonna do it so that we'll get it verified and signed.
You know, we're in a win-win situation with this. Matt's not. So even if it doesn't, if it does go through, then we got a cool book that we can sell for a lot and talk shit about.
I'm not in a win. I'm not in a lose-lose here. If the book goes through and they don't catch the staple, I'm off the hook.
Yeah,
I don't have to wear a dildo on my head. Tell me which one of your guys in Flip Side would make this kind of deal.
And not a single one.
Scared. They're scared.
Respect.
Scared.
They're scared.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna go back and look at the Phoenix Comic-Con guest list, and we'll.
Did you say because they have a lot of self-respect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Thanks,
oh man.
It's because they're under the thumb of another and they can't express themselves.
It's just that I love this show and our community and you guys so much that I'm willing to do anything it takes to produce content
for a chuckle.
Yeah. Anything I have to produce content. If it means rocking a big black dildo on my head because I lost a bet, well, so be it.
It's gonna be awesome when it comes back with that restored label. It's gonna be yellow with just that purple line at the very top.
But are there any size constraints? Because big is a relative term.
No. Mm-mm.
He keeps hitting his microphone. Oh man, it's gonna be awesome.
I want it to be long enough to where it goes from my forehead and accidentally almost pokes the camera every now and then.
If it happens, I want to get Norm Rappman to do a sketch of you wearing the black dildo on your forehead.
There you go.
Man, might have to pay for a fast pass.
See, now you gotta make it a Norm book. So that way you get Norm to sign it. We replace the staple. And that way if it fails, then you can get a picture of me holding the book wearing the dildo hat and have Norm sketch that picture.
Perfect. Because he's doing
and then I'll make it a shirt.
Beyond.
Then I'll make it a shirt of me with that picture holding the dildo, holding the sketch of me wearing the shirt.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
There you go.
So that's what I'll do.
It's just evolving now.
I'll do a Batman Beyond book because I know he does that one.
I'm telling you, I don't think it happened. I don't think
you don't think they're gonna catch it.
If we line it up perfectly with the right staple, I don't think they catch it. I don't think so.
So we're gonna take the middle staple out and then we're gonna re-staple it.
Yep.
Gonna have to. You know what? I think what we're gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to practice. So we're gonna have to buy a couple books, and we're gonna have to figure out what kind of stapler it is. Like
I'm just going straight up stapler.
It's not like it's a normal stapler that you get at
I think it's one of the handheld ones, like the metal handheld ones.
The old ones. Have you seen my stapler?
No, not that one. There's one that actually has like a hand grip and like a pull trigger on it.
So we'll have to find one of those.
Yeah, the guns.
It's this awesome place called Staples.
Do they actually sell a comic book stapler?
I'm sure you can. Let's look it up on Amazon right now. Let's look up Amazon comic book stapler.
I bet there's nothing there. Because it's not like it's a sweatshop where they have these little kids stapling comic books.
Got to be part of the printing press, right?
Yeah. But for us just to take out one staple and be able to put it back. So we're going to have to do it too without it making any indentations.
Yeah.
When we press it. Brian, if somebody in your house, watch it. There's 2 people in your house, dude. You're fucked. So what do we got?
Comic book stapler.
Did you find it? How much is it?
$35.99.
That's it?
Yeah, free one day.
On Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
You just typed in comic book stapler.
Book stapler.
And it doesn't have a book stapler?
Yeah.
And it
I told you the plan is coming together.
Oh fuck.
I'm either gonna look like a fucking genius or a complete idiot. Neither way, I don't care.
Or a dildo unicorn.
Or a dildo unicorn.
And that's how you have to introduce yourself that night.
It's Friday Night in Phoenix and I'm dildo unicorn.
Yep.
Okay. You're just adding on stipulations to this bet, huh?
Yeah.
There's got to be more here. There's got to be more. Like, I can't just get the satisfaction of being right. Like, I think it should be that if I'm right, you two rock the dildos. Brian's like over there eating candy. Like, no way, not gonna happen.
Hey, I'm gonna pay for. I'm paying to test to see if a book's gonna be restored.
That's true. And if it's not.
If not, I have a cool book that Norm Rappin will sign.
You have a cool book with a cool story.
Yep. And you will have a dildo on your forehead.
I don't think it's gonna happen. What do you think the over/under is?
I think they're gonna catch it.
You think they catch it? Brian thinks they catch it too, huh? What do you think? What do you think, Tim? You think they catch it?
So you're going with modern book?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think they catch it.
I don't think so either.
If we do it nice enough, they shouldn't be able to catch it.
That's going to be a poll on the Facebook page this week, is if they catch it. I don't think they do.
I think they do. Because we're going to have to practice.
Definitely going to have a much easier time on a modern than you would on an older one.
So I'll go back and I'll look at, because I have all the, it'll be back. We'll do Batman Beyond. So, yes. I think the hard part is going to be pulling the staple. No, because we can open the book up with a nice pair of ply, like needle nose. We'll be able to fold the.
How about you just get a staple puller?
Because it'll rip.
No. Not one that's kind of like a letter opener that goes under a staple, not like the claw.
Yeah, it goes over to the staple and separates it.
I still think it's gonna, because we're gonna have to watch for the book getting fucked up.
We gotta film this like in a staple removing, staple adding montage for the clip.
We do 80s montage and we're all laughing and walking real fast and
yeah.
Dude, like, look, I don't know if you could see it.
I'll throw all the staples at Brian.
Let me see if I can. Hold on. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, you gotta start throwing staples at each other. Let's see if you can see it here, like the staple right there. Yeah. You tell me that would not be easy to pull out and replace. The book lays right there, so like there's no damage to the book. It's easy just to
I think getting it out is gonna damage the book.
I don't think so.
Because you're gonna have to, even with a. I think that's how they're going to find the restoration. It's not going to be the staple itself. It's going to be the damage of us taking it out and replacing it is what is going to red flag the restoration.
You just got to be gentle like on prom night.
Nope, it won't happen.
Because Kyle wasn't gentle on prom night.
But that's, going to have to practice. I'm going to have to practice with a couple books. We're going to have to sacrifice a couple books. Yeah, I'm stoked. I can't wait. I'm ordering that fucking comic book stapler.
Why?
So I can staple comic books so you can lose a bet.
You know it's going to be a good bit. There's a good business there if it happens and they don't catch it. Just saying.
If they don't catch it, we're going to rock the fucking grading industry.
Well, there you go. There's to further your cause that there's absolutely no guidelines when it comes to grading books.
Man, it'd be crazy if they didn't catch it though. But I think they will.
We'll find out, won't we?
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't take 6 months to find out.
No, we're fast passing that shit.
Yeah. We're gonna fast pass it.
Weeks. We're getting it back in 3 weeks.
There you go.
We can't. And maybe that is one of the reasons why they're not going to catch it either.
Yeah.
Because they have to grade it so fast. I think they're going to catch it, though. I don't think there's any way that they.
It'd be a great video if they don't.
It would be a great video if they don't. So, next week's show, we'll do a poll on which Batman Beyond to do. I'll pull a bunch out.
Is that book worth any money?
The ones that Norm Ratman's doing, they're the newer issues.
Oh, let's get some crappy back issues.
Yeah. No, I'll just do one of the last ones. He's been doing it for what?
It'd be cool if you do the modern, just because one of the newer ones. Because then if it came back at 9.8, you know what I mean? How crazy would that be?
I share, and I'll even sweeten the deal. I'll order it off Amazon. I share an Amazon account with my mom. So still question why that's being ordered.
Do you think she'd actually say something, or is that something she just?
Oh, she'll say something to me. Absolutely, yeah.
So what you need a dildo for, Matt?
Yeah, she'll question it.
What you pleasuring?
And then I'm gonna auction it off to the highest bidder afterwards.
It'll be Brian.
It'll be Brian.
Just as long as it's not Matt's mom.
It won't be my mom.
Whoa, that'd be kind of awkward.
It'll be Kyle's mom since she watched the show.
Oh shit!
Tell her not to watch that episode.
My computer's got 11%.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to stop. More fucking. God damn, it's what
10, 11 o'clock.
1:44 in the morning over there for poor Tim.
Yeah.
Is it really?
He's got to be dying.
I'm good.
You can go all night.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Let me get my charger. I'll be right back.
Strong like bull.
I'm passing out right here soon.
Did you were passing out before you even started? One eye.
Yeah, Jose.
I'm gonna start pulling a Jose here.
Yeah, Popeye.
Fucking start nodding off. I am what I am.
You'll get memed into cool pictures too.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I make you guys look good.
Shit.
With all the memes.
That's good thing you're bored at work.
Yeah.
Beefcake, dude. Dude, it makes my day go so much faster. When it's like, this is dragging ass, I just start photoshopping and it makes it go so much quicker.
Yeah. Nice.
I just wait to see what the next one will be.
I like your beefcake one. That one's by far one of my favorites. Huh?
The Titan one?
No, the beefcake where he's in the gym with the two chicks.
Oh, yeah.
That one's good.
Or
and then
flexing.
and then I like Brian's second one I did. The hire me with the twins. Yeah.
Twins.
Hanging off of your shoulder. And then the Jose one is pretty funny too. The Mr. Stinson. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stinson.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That is awesome.
But
Let's see.
All right. I think it's a good place to end this week's show. I want to thank I definitely want to thank Tim for joining us tonight. It's great having you on.
I appreciate it, guys.
Hopefully you get a little bit of a feel of what it's like to do a podcast. And
so what'd you think?
It's a good time. I was lost at the beginning. The Raygun, I was interested in it, but I had no input.
At least you talked more than Garcia did.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm sorry that it coincided. We'll have to have you back on again real soon because it wasn't fair that it coincided with that, but we kind of set that up and then the book got pushed back. So it was just poor timing.
I'm excited for the book now. I mean, his mom's a whore. There's ray guns, there's dinosaurs, there's military internment facilities.
It's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it does. It's got something for the whole family.
Yeah, but I think my grandma will love it.
There you go. Definitely a present for grandma. But yeah, I definitely want to thank you, Tim, for coming on and having a good time hanging out with us tonight. And I want to say thank you for always making the chat absolute fire every week. You do a good job in there, keeping us all entertained. Sometimes I think you're funnier than we are. Most of the time, you're funnier than we are.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, I want to thank again Greg for coming on and talking to us about Raygun and the awesome. Kind things he had to say about us. And again, guys, I can't say it enough. Go to your local comic shop, ask them to order you a copy of Raygun, and help an independent creator who's also a really cool fucking dude.
And this is the last page to Raygun.
Damn it, Kyle, you're not supposed to show that.
So, not to interrupt, but so it was 4 issues, and you guys have been waiting for the 2 issues. So the trade is the whole 6-issue run, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been waiting for those last 2 issues for like 3 years now.
Yep. Yepers. But yeah. So yeah, again, can't say it enough. Go to your local comic shop, ask them to order you Raygun for Diamond, support an independent creator. As you can't. That's how we get new blood in the industry is by supporting independent creators. Can't do it enough. I'm glad that we can be a vessel to help get the word out for independent creators, and especially Greg, since he's been with us. He started out as a fan, and then he's been with us for so long, man. It's really cool. But
it's awesome.
Yeah. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us tonight on YouTube. If you're still here, I know it's late for most of you on the East Coast.
I think everybody went to bed.
I think so too. But if you like this episode and this is the first time you're finding us on YouTube, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you'd like to listen to the audio version of this podcast, you can do so every Monday on any of your podcasting applications: Stitcher, iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Overcast, Google Play Music Store, Spotify. What, Brian?
Pocket Cast.
We're not on Spotify.
We are on Spotify. I'm pretty
Last time I tried to look it up, we didn't show
Were
up.
you?
Because somebody said, "Hey, you got a podcast?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "You're not on Spotify," and I was like, "Oh yeah, we are." He's like, "Look," I was like, "No, we're not."
I know we were on Spotify. I'll have to double check.
I think that's when we had the other RSS feed.
Maybe you're right. Been so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find us anywhere podcasting
except
podcasts
Spotify.
are available. Yep. Well, we'll get on Spotify then.
Yeah.
But that'll do it for this week's episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Brian.
And he's Tim.
I didn't know I gotta go.
You gotta go, man.
I didn't know I had a turn.
You get a turn.
There's no.
You're on the show. You get a turn.
At the beginning, I get to introduce you. At the end, you get a turn.
Oh,
talk us.
So
fail. There you go.
I'll fail.
And we'll see you next time.